Welcome back to the Saturday Ironheart Merchant Company. It is once again the Saturday session. We return to session 53. A red blizzard approaches. However, before we get into all of that, last time we left off, honestly, the simplest way in the TLDR, if you want to skip the next 2 minutes of what happened, is a guy with a sack of hit points and a few magic items hit the party like a ton of bricks. I really actually appreciate that concept of it. But no, in truth, as the party sat down to dinner with Odger and his host, quite quickly things devolved. Prior to the sit-down, the party would get a warning through the help of Jakix that a betrayal was coming and that James was going to die. Thankfully, Saturday, who already expected some sort of misplay being put about, the party had set themselves up to be prepared, though still only so much they could do against what was later calculated to be a CR 24 creature in total. And I do apologize to the players who as I misinterpreted that last time as a CR 18. But the party would, after splitting up and welcoming Odger into the stronghold, seeing a few of the spiders enter into the main open front, I'm trying to think of the word, courtyard, there we go, courtyard, that had been set aside for the majority of the troops to eat at. Odger and the James and Rolleman would head within the long hall, finding themselves sitting beside Odger and making small talk as his children kind of filled in amongst the other commandos and elites of James's own command. The two, James and Odger, would have some pleasantries as they spoke to the crowd, giving a speech and welcoming the whole fiasco to come to an end as they did. However, Odger, who had other plans, and with the two, James and Rolleman, already expecting this, unfortunately, Odger would get the jump on him, as he would immediately swing, crit confirm, and near take James's head off. Jakix, in a last-minute moment, would cast something that caused time to, rewind, bringing James out of the situation and watching his head get squished in the process. As the fight went on, everything falling apart, battles, death, all around. Mineral was kidnapped, and the battle would begin. It would go on. The Ironheart Merchant Company would see themselves torn apart and killed, and then time would rewind to find Rolleman and Odger dueling one-on-one and a few rounds of combat. Thankfully, this time without a hammer with only a hammer and without his cloak, as well as his dagger stolen. The party would quickly find themselves outclassed, but with him suffering from the minor paralysis poison for the moment, and as well not having his massive spell resistance without his cloak, the party quickly began whittling away at his HP, taking him down to nearly half HP by the time that they found themselves on death's door. Rolleman doing all he can to take on this barrage, facing him as the brave warrior he was, but as it was, this was a sack of hit points with magic items that were far too much for even his capabilities. As James would continue to try and throw spells, helping out Rolleman by weakening Odger as much as physically possible, down to the point where he only had the most minimalistic strength. The party managed to finally rally around Syndra, with Syndra's magic creating a whiteout and quickly pinning him to the ceiling left and right. Though he may have went after James during the snowy blizzard, Rolleman and James would manage to hold him off before finally James agreed to have him removed. As Jakix paid in his favor, rushing in and stealing Odger away, vanishing it seemed, or disintegrating the individual, the party found themselves, as the whiteout would end, with nothing but a small crater where Odger was standing, a bit of ash, and the sounds of the wind blowing them away. As they looked around, their people managing to have taken the majority of the success in this fight, at least inside the meeting hall. Um, However, sadly, Mineral and the poor Belphegor still gone. Party will quickly send out orders to go and gather up those individuals that had been stolen or gone missing. While Syndra would head out into the courtyard to only find the unfortunate bloodbath that would see the majority of the the Ironheart forces completely removed, seeing only Ein and another strange individual. This, if I remember right, was the dwarven woman. If I remember correctly, I think it was. Yes, the two fighting it and duking it out in the courtyard as as Syndra told them to take off or asking them kindly, the two left heading out, leaving nothing but a bloodbath and 3 remaining survivors. From there, the Syndra would rejoin up with the party, James, Rolliman, and them figuring out a few things on what to do next. Daka and the World Travelers Report having recorded everything and heading on their way. We return about an hour later since last session. In the year of 65,007, the month of the first moon, or January, still the same day of the 28th, and still around midnightfall in Helm Hold. As we return back, about an hour has passed. You lot have managed to move the bodies, separating them apart, gathering the materials that were of value and putting them off to the side, getting a chance to identify and investigate the weapons that were of uniqueness and interest. Rolliman returning back after looking off in silent contemplation for a few moments. As we return, though, all 3 of you gathered in the room. Melvin kind of just sitting off to the side, giving a couple orders as the men continue moving things. Stan Sanderson waiting to report on what looks to be 2 separate reports, as you see 2 separate stands, identical to each other, standing at attention.
I'll point to the one at right. You first.
Yes, James, I'm sorry about this, but I have confirmed that Nada is being well taken care of and fed inside the dungeons of Rune's Hold.
You know, that's not bad.
Oh, it was terrible. She didn't want to leave.
I'm gonna kick somebody's ass.
I don't think I'd want to either.
And
They had these little, chocolate things, chocolate turtle-like things. They are delicious, let me tell you. The guards, sweet, fragrant. The rooms, surprisingly nice and maintained.
Was she with Nadaf still, or was Are they both okay?
Oh, the child? Well, from my understanding, was being taken care of within Rune's Hold's own personal, room, or child's room. They had a term for it in Dwarvish. I forget the term that they used. No. Something else. But apparently he was being taken care of alongside the other generation of the Strong Helms, the young childs that are taken care of by the family's multiple nannies.
Okay, she's safe.
He kind of bows and nods.
I'm guessing I'm gonna have to go talk her into coming back.
No, I told her we would probably be heading there next and that she should enjoy her comforts and kick up her feet while she can.
Yeah, she can have a vacation.
He kind of bows slightly and then turns and starts walking off.
Point to the next one. Your report.
Kind of nods and same kind of exact voice, same kind of look on his face as he looks at you and goes, "Well, we found Mineral, and, well, the good news is he's safe. The bad news is you're not going to like where he is."
Where is he?
Our reports found a spell circle outside of Helm Hold that looks to be some sort of extreme magic, as it burnt a hole through the stone itself and melted quite well, in fact. From what we can tell and what I was able to deduce, it seems that this is going towards the Elven territories south of Greg's own lands. My guess is some sort of situation, maybe being brought back to his clan. I'm not sure, but from what I can tell, it seems the boy was unharmed, at least up until that point, and we do at least know what the activation for the spell circle was. I'm pretty sure I can recreate it if we have the magic for it.
Given the being that probably did it, I doubt we have the magic for it. At current.
He nods to that and goes, "Aye, but it might be easier than flying there directly. It's your choice, as you wish, though. Uh, I can look into it further if you'd like, but he was only told to
Do
find
that.
out where he is." Understood. As he kind of bows to that and goes, "I'll be on my way if you need anything else."
I'll wave him off. James looks tired and beat the fuck up. It's been only an hour.
It is.
So, do we have a change of pants for the sorcerer kid? He kind of pissed himself.
Take. You know what? Judging by his size, will any of his siblings' clothes fit him?
From the unconscious and from the dead. I mean he is a medium. So yes.
I take one of their pairs of pants and just hand them.
Well, you think I'm
James
gonna put him on him? Cuffed up. Someone else has to do it.
As James grabs
Get someone
some
else to do it.
not soiled but slightly bloodied pants and hands them over or holds them out to you.
Well, we can
Yeah,
talk
but-
while I change his pants then, like he's a goddamn child. Rollman, status on with the status that we have. We don't have enough troops to fly them back, to fly all the ships where we need to go.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think of the 500 we captured?
Is he talking about the ones that were still like in this area?
I
I mean, I can get their measure and see if they'll cooperate or not.
mean, find out if they're willing to work for me. I'm willing to pay them at this point, just to get the ship somewhere, but they have to be able to follow orders, and I swear to God, they try and stab somebody in the back. I will throw them from the sky.
Yeah, I can see how many will cooperate or not. What about the standing army that's still outside?
We'll be dealing with that in short measure. I'm pretty sure we will need to show them some proof of the kill. So the cloak, and we'll have to have somebody else touch that damn hammer. I'm not lifting that.
I can move it. Just tell me when you're ready.
We'll probably want to do that before the end of the day, but I also want to take a little bit of time to heal because, well, I don't think a straight arrow could kill me right now. I'd rather not have an aimed arrow do so.
James kind of looks about the room, just looking up at the balcony where the World's Travelers Report was sitting earlier.
I believe
I look at myself unwounded. I can go show the hammer if you want.
with our slight wounds, they might also be more believable. Because if we go out there pristine, they might have questions.
Oh, I'm not coming out there pristine. I just want to take a bit of time to chug 2 potions.
Okay, that takes 2 seconds. But all right.
James,
really-
who's got a couple bits of blood, like all over his body. His armor is dented a good bit. Roman, you don't look good yourself, as I imagine you're, because I think you were on like 2 HP, right?
I'm at 61 HP right now.
Oh, okay, so you're not
I'm
as
the
bad.
lowest.
Yeah, so James looks like he got the crud kicked out of him, like a bar fight gone bad.
Yeah, Roman is
Also-
ruffled and has some cuts. But
We're gonna commission
okay.
those bards to
Yeah.
make a ballad about the battle, trying to make us look good at this point.
The bards who are slowly in the background playing a mellow and calm funeral song as the bodies are kind of still being moved around.
They have a strong will, I must say, to continue playing throughout that.
Make me look
intense.
good. I do
They
look
are
good.
really good at their job. I might hire them for music into the main shop if I can trust them, but that's beside this.
What was that, Syndra?
I said make me look good. I do look good.
Just imagine Syndra striking a pose at that point.
I flip my hair.
God fucking damn it. The beard flip and the hair flip. My god.
It's too powerful. Anyways, Well, James, drink your potions, and then I think we should address sooner rather than later. They might be getting restless, and I don't want to have them start barging in while we're
I
battered.
can round up whoever leads. Well, someone had to lead them under Odger. They had to have some kind of chain. Bring them in, figure it out from there.
Yes, we'll ask
Yes,
for
that'd probably
next in
be the
command.
best.
All right.
Drink your healing potion.
As you drink your potion, go ahead and roll your health, James. As you taste the cherry delight.
I'm just making sure I get the right numbers, because if I don't, I will. Because this is a potion of cure moderate.
Also, fun fact, cherry flavoring is not what cherries taste like. I know, shocker.
Yeah.
Because the cherries they use for cherry flavoring, we don't eat.
2d8 plus.
Who would have known?
Hey, did you know that banana flavor is not real banana?
Holy crap! You tell me. If you tell me it's like something like, well, not like bee brain, it's like the last time, I swear to God.
It's actually an extinct version of the banana.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I believe that, to be fair. Alright, 21. As you drink it, you feel the bruises and the bones that were kind of cracked and broken begin to mend. It's not comfortable as you all hear the cracking in James's chest as the ribs push themselves back and James feels himself kind of regaining a full breath, but it's not a fun feeling to feel these bones moving. It's like getting basically punched in the reverse in a sense as you kind of stand back up though. Kind of looking about, some of the troops seemingly kind of looking at you and watching. Melvin kind of stopping and watching too. God damn. As the kind of room goes silent at the sound.
Alright. Let's go address them and get someone. Everyone out there.
Who's gonna stay here and keep an eye on as I look at the chain gang of 3 kids?
Melvin raises his hand.
Drag them. Oh, there we go.
Okay.
Perfect.
Sure, that
Melvin, if they struggle, feed them to something. I don't care.
What?
You see him
James
smile
looks tired.
and nod. The prisoners look very nervous as they look on at the slightly glowing eyes of Melvin in his kobold form.
Just horrify them, though.
Just be good. We'll be right back, you 3.
The 3, now all 3 wearing pants, seem to look quite nervous as they kind of get handed off over to Melvin.
Well, one of them was a woman. I wouldn't have tried to put pants on that. I'm
No,
sorry.
I know. I was referring to the individual that wasn't wearing pants. The others, assumedly, because they were wearing armor, were.
Yep. Well, I only changed the sorcerer's pants because he pissed himself. I was leaving the naked man alone.
Oh, my apologies.
Well, he was already naked when we found him. We assume that's normal.
All right, listen.
I assume that's his average. If he wants pants, he can request them.
My misunderstanding. That's fair. All right, as you go ahead and hand them off, Melvin kind of nods, smiling, as the 3 kind of sit down at one of the tables that has been re-upturned and put back on it where it was. A few blade marks where the battle had taken place, and the blood kind of dripping off. But they seem to sit contently as Melvin watches them continue, kind of barking orders at some of your troops, or the few troops that are here for cleanup. As the 3 of you look about, Sindri, I think you were about to say something. I apologize. What was it?
Yeah. Once the other 2 are ready, I'm gonna click my fingers and summon the ice ape to carry the cloak and the hammer.
Tim is back. As Tim arrives, coming out in this glimmering light as if he's just entered onto a stage. His little top hat kind of leans down. He smiles as he comes out walking on his front hands. Kind of looks at each of you, immediately sensing Syndra's intent, and seems to kind of slowly shuffle his way over, grabbing the cloak, kind of throwing it over his shoulder with one arm, and then taking the hammer in the other as he kind of stands straight up and walks slowly over to you.
All right, let's do this.
As you see him, as you all walk out, Tim looks as suspicious as any gorilla does when they walk on 2 feet. Following behind you, he looks like he's totally stolen these items and not trying to be seen.
Grape ape.
But as the three of you start to head out, is there anything you want to do before you head out to like speak to the large army?
I don't think so.
The same energy.
God
James,
fucking
wanna-
damn it! I'm not. I don't.
Looks like a guy going out to smoke a joint, not trying to get caught by his
No, he's trying to go to the
family.
bathroom, dude.
He's not-
I have to
he's
shit and smoke. I don't know which I'm doing first.
It's a heavy fight. Listen, those fiber diets will hit you. Oh man, no, but as
No, I don't think
Go.
there's anything we have to do in the fort right now.
okay, I wanted
As
to make
long as
sure.
the bodies are being separated and everything.
Yeah, most of them, as you start to head out into the hallway, you can smell and see bits of the bloods and organ that have kind of come off of the bodies that have been slowly getting taken out into the main courtyard and kind of separated into piles. Your own people having been laid out in a what looks to be like tablecloths kind of thrown over many of them to cover them, cheap blankets that look to be kind of tossed over them, pretty much anything to kind of cover the dead. The enemies seem to kind of be piled almost in a large kind of almost a mound at this point of blood and ichor. The few nobles amongst the those who are dead, including the children that were slain, all seem to have been laid out separately, kind of respectfully left in their armor and gear. As you kind of pass by this, it is a grim-looking fate. This was not a pretty battle, as you can see the wounds being many of these individuals having their heads caved in, bits and parts of body parts missing, or seemingly kind of laid beside them. It's horrendous and it smells horrible as you start to see the flies already moving in, even in the cold. Yes.
We will also grab on our way out, because his standard would have been left, I'm assuming, by the entryway to the.
It is kind of slightly broken and burnt against the against the pile of corpses.
Looking better.
Yes.
Taking it.
All right.
I'll
As
pass it off to Rollman. Hold that up.
Sorry.
We're going to need it.
As Rollman takes it, Tim still following behind as he kind of stays looking forward. You begin to head out, and as you head towards the large bridge, passing over the cavern and towards the base of the bridge to look out over the massive army, it looks to have kind of almost conglomerated around up to this entrance. As Syndra looks about, realizing that many of the banners from the sides of the army seem to have kind of centralized up to the front as this army gathers together, almost about what looks to be 17, maybe 20,000 all around at this point. As you watch, looking about, James, the slight mumbling from down is almost a bit of a roar of a cacophony just because of how many voices are going on. And then as you kind of step out, the banner already over coming out from Rollman's side as he holds it out. Tim kind of holding up the cloak and the hammer without Syndra's need to give command. The army seems to almost immediately go silent, and you see two banners come forth. One looking to be of the large rat clan, and the second looks to be of the Mithralbone clan. Two snowbeards that from this distance are too hard to make out much of their features, but you'd guess them to be minor nobility, probably younger sons, similar like yourselves, out here to prove a point. But they seem to be, as you see them kind of ushering and hear them speaking out in Dwarvish, silencing the army. The battlefield goes quiet as nothing but the wind and the moonlight above as the clouds kind of break give you the kind of spotlight you're hoping for. It is dead silent and eerie. And
James
then
will
in
start.
the distance, before James starts, a distant, as I was requested for this, cow begins to moo quite loudly and then goes silent after a moment. All right, go ahead.
Oh,
God damn.
Someone asked for that, and if you don't know what a mooing cow sounds like and how loud they can be, it's just a weird and
It's
awkward
horrible.
sound.
It's a very horrible, awkward sound. Especially right after something like this.
Well, if you don't have a cow and you don't know where that cow came from to suddenly hear it.
I'm
But yeah.
concerned now. Note to self, find that fucking druid and slap them.
Syndra's already looking for them, but go ahead and make your speech.
Odger Stronghelm, Sr., plotted to kill me through horrible, dishonorable means. We had agreed to peace. He walked in there with plans to kill me. I responded in kind. He's dead. Most of his children and men that were in my fort are dead as well. The war is over. As I do not wish to have your lives, but I will not leave you armed. I will request that the sons that have clans assist in this matter of disarming this army before I send you off. Weapons will be turned in. You'll keep your armor and go on your way. This is the mercy I grant you.
Roll me a diplomacy and an intimidation check.
I can assume they're not friendly and I don't have friendly face. Do I? This is gonna go great, guys.
They're friendly.
Hey,
You should be
there you go.
There's something wrong here.
That's the diplomacy.
Well, the friendly is them being, they want to beg for forgiveness.
Yeah, that's it.
This one's gonna go great too, guys. I just feel it.
Nice.
Oh.
Not very.
My intimidation is 6. James is diplomatic.
Alright. James, as you begin to kind of speak out in front of this crowd, saying the words come clearly, cleanly, and with the force you intend, but a few times as you're speaking, trying to really hammer away your point, your voice seems to give a light crack, and kind of takes away from the intimidation factor as you speak, have calming yourself as you do and speaking more clearly. The enemy forces seem to kind of keep quiet, listening, till the two gentlemen who came forward kind of look up at you. You see a moment of them kind of stepping together to sit, seemingly speaking to one another. And you hear one shout out and go, "What if there's only 2 of us who have nobility amongst the rest?"
Then you'll be paid. You'll be compensated for the services, obviously, because this won't be in service to your current means.
Look at
You can also request payment from Helm Hold, as I assume that's who hired you.
Give me a sense motive, James. Hopefully roll better than a 6.
My sense motive's better.
Well, we will see.
I'm just as good at sense
Nice.
motive as diplomacy. Like so.
You get the sense what they mean is not of their concern of being paid. Their concern seems to be more that they have to help. There's only 2 of them to collect the weapons of an army of 24,000.
I'll have some other people assist as well.
They seem to kind of nod to that. You hear a shout. A few of the officers seem to kind of come forward as the 2 nobles turn back and seem to speak a few harsh words. For all those who speak Dwarvish, give me a listen check.
That's everybody here.
Yep, saves me the time. Tim does not speak Dwarvish, sadly, so,
Tim speaks Dwarvish. I've taught him lovingly and caringly.
You wish.
Tim's intelligence is null. He doesn't have an
Tim
intelligence.
is a summon and if I give it a personality more than that, I will get yelled at like I did with the centipede.
Yes.
14.
20. I'm listening.
Nice. Rollman's
We
paying
haven't
full
heard from the
attention.
all hearing.
That's true. They're probably gonna hear it.
I was gonna say how loud or how good are Syndra's old ears. Oh well, not as old as they thought they were. As the 3 of you listen in, Rollman and Syndra, you hear a bit of an argument. James, you can tell they're arguing, but it's hard to make out the words over the quieted down and hushed tones, unfortunately. Rollman and Syndra, though, You hear bits and bobs. It sounds like an angry conversation about the idea of surrendering. What you get from it is the officers seemingly don't want to surrender, while the nobles are willing to do so in exchange for something more is what it sounds like. Though you don't really catch it, Rollman. What else they seem to be speaking to. Syndra, as you catch it, it sounds like the officers are wanting to fight nobly and die in battle, whereas these two nobles sound like, are basically making it sound like they're planning to betray James if he doesn't pay them an exorbitant amount to leave the field.
Oh no,
I'm just gonna start
hearing this.
I'm gonna start strolling up.
Okay. Go ahead, Roman, as Syndra starts walking forward.
I will shout out, if there's any disagreements, I'll accept any challenges.
You see some of the men look back, seeing Syndra kind of walking forward. Seeing James kind of looking in a little bit of confusion at both.
James will be looking straight forward, flat-faced.
Yeah.
Oh, flat
I'll say that in Dwarvish as well. just to
Got
make
you.
sure.
Yeah. Two nobles kind of look at each other and look back at the officers who kind of quiet up as they kind of look at Syndra. And, the two nobles speak up and go, "There's a disagreement amongst the army. Some of us believe that we should fight to the death, while others of us have been convinced that it'd be better to live and profit to fight another day." As they kind of
I'll just look to Syndra, who's walking towards them.
They kind of eye Cinder warily. No, their hands are going to their weapons, but they are not pulling their weapons.
I kind of like drop as I walk Oger's weapon that I was carrying, his weird hammer wand thing.
Oh, okay.
And I just go, so death or an exorbitant, ridiculous amount of money for a losing army. Both seem ridiculous. No. They look to the people wanting to fight. I sweep over to the nobles.
You see the officers kind of looking you up and down and sing the Ogaren's Bloodstorm Hammer. Kind of look at Tim kind of just standing in the background looking about confused as he stands on his feet, kind of lightly picking his nose as gorillas like to do as he watches what's going on for a moment. The nobles that you recognize as Abba Jr. of the Large Rat clan and the heir to the Large Rat clan, Fortune, and as well as some thirdborn of the Mithril Bones. You don't know his name. He's not really an important individual, nor is he someone who's managed to make of any importance of himself, but he is of a clan that is not exactly known for its weakness due to their dinosaur interest. Yeah. Oh, sorry, house, not clan. Sorry, they are the house. While they, so they are almost on equal footing to the the Frost Hammers, or no, sorry, to the Stronghelms. Oh, there we go. But as the two nobles look at you, they kind of eye you up and down, looking at the hammer. Abba Jr. of the Large Rat Clan seems to speak up and goes, "I don't think that'll be necessary. I mean, if the hammer is to be offered as a sort of payment, we can definitely get rid of it and take that as our severance pay for bringing our armies with us. It was quite a loss to take our armies and see no actions. We were expecting to loot quite a good amount from this, as you can imagine, young Ironheart." As he kind of pauses, looks you up and down, you can see a little bit of look of he's trying to figure you who you are, not really realizing who you are in comparison, and kind of seems to then bow slightly and then glance up at James as he kind of seems to turn his bow towards James.
I just turn around. I look to James.
I will.
The losers demand his personal weapon.
You want that cursed piece? You'll be hated and hunted by dragons, demons, and all kinds. And you don't have the power to back it up.
Abba Jr. kind of bows deeper and goes, "My..." Kind of lightly moves his chest piece a little bit just to kind of get a bit more air around his neck as he adjusts it, and kind of looks up from his bow and goes, "My Lord James of the Ironheart Merchant Company, I only seek to make sure that my men are fairly paid. We were promised a large sum of funds for our willingness to serve, and we still have quite a large army. Since I don't sense any immense magic left with you all, you can understand that this has not put you in the greatest of positions. We could rehold the siege, starve you out. Wouldn't take long. Your ship would fall within a few days, probably. The rest of the ships would fall. I think that taking the weapon, selling it through my connections of my clan, and me and the Mithril splitting it between the two of us saves you the problem of removing such a hassle of a weapon, and in exchange, we take care of our own payments you don't have to worry about. We'll assist.
I wouldn't need to worry about it either, as you would need to seek your payment from Rune's Hold. I'm sure they have an heir set up and someone else in control while Odger went on a march.
He nods and smiles and goes, yes and no. There is a commoner who has been put in charge. A member of the Venkos bloodline, far removed, that got set as a Castellion, if you will. But do understand, we were promised by Odger himself. You already know of my clan's interest, and as a merchant to merchant, you can respect a deal here. I'm looking to resolve this as peacefully as possible. The fortune and our assistance means good relations, and no interest of the large rat house or the Mithril house causing any issues with whatever nobility you rise to. Or that, as he kind of like waves his hand over towards Syndra, your companions may rise to.
If you're willing to meet and discuss terms, we can discuss a better option for you.
Is that not what we are doing on this battlefield as honorable commanders do? So that our men and officers can, as he turns back and gives them a very sharp glare at the officers who seem to be very interested in fighting this to the end, and then kind of looks back up to James and continues, isn't it better our men know that they have, or what deals we make, so that they can understand our true motivations and set down their arms willingly?
I need to ask something. I know this is the heir to the Large Rat clan at this point, correct?
Yes. If you want to give me a knowledge nobility, you can see how important this individual is, though.
Okay.
I'll take that from Syndra and Rolman as well in this situation, since the three of you can talk to each other.
I am very book learned.
So
historically, this is bad.
Well, this is a young noble, so it's fair. It's still after James's time. He left, He wasn't interested in the modern nobility. Oh, he knows who founded the Large Rat clan off the top of his head, but God, the modern heirs
He was a really good merchant, and I really admire him.
But Rollman's just looking at this, I imagine, prepared to kill this guy at a moment's notice, given the situation. Syndra...
I want to use Urge, but I kind of had to.
Syndra, having played the role of a lesser-known noble amongst the family and treated less properly most of the time, has a lot more research on who to deal with and how they go about doing business. Those that are worth meeting and those that are not. So, let's go through it. So, James, Abbott Jr. is roughly the heir to the Large Rat clan. They are nicknamed almost identically to their family head. Their nickname is the Avarice Heart. The same nickname as the heir to the clan, or the head of the clan, rather. But that is really all you roughly get from that, James. Rolliman with one better. Abba Jr. here is known to have 7 older brothers and 3 older sisters. All of which who are known to be capable merchants, and all of which who run branches of the family in different nations. From what you've been able to kind of gather and scrounge.
This dude's desperate.
Right. Syndra. What you recall about the Large Rats is that unlike any of the other houses, while they are a house by all right, their clan mostly stands only on their wealth. They don't have a stronghold to call home. They do not have a fortress in the Snow Dwarven territories that they are able to live within. And they are mostly a family that spends its time scattered amongst the Minia nations. They do have a massive manor, Though it has been rumored that in recent years their family has been taking on a few more debts than they were supposed to, and that there is a belief the Grey Rats may soon overtake them. There is a bit of a hook that is rumored, as you would know, between the head of the Grey Rats and the head of the Large Rat family, and there is belief that Abba Jr. is going to be married off matrilineally to one of the Grey Rats, which is basically kind of a huge insult, because it's not only is he marrying down, but he's marrying down into the lower family, which is basically to be spat in the face of. As this individual, most likely, or being that he is the heir, you would know that his family of the older siblings have all are much more capable merchants than him, and realize quite quickly that sticking in the homeland and being the heir to the family's wealth meant also being the heir to the family debt. And there's a lot more money to be made in a fresh market where you only have to pay a portion of your profits to the head of the house. Given, basically, as Roman put it, yes, Abba Jr. here is desperate for a deal and needs to establish himself, because otherwise his family is going to go under.
Well, never let it be said that Syndra is a kind person or has respect for anyone that is not stronger than her. As I puff my pipe, your desperation is showing a bit much. You might be the 11th. You don't need to be that desperate.
And glances up at Syndra and then looks up towards James and goes, I have no desperation whatsoever amongst my clan. We have managed to keep ourselves quite capable throughout the years, and even in the worst of situations, through the greatest of debts, we still have many hooks within much of the nobility. I would like to remind you, your own clan owes us quite a huge debt.
Is that true?
With Syndra's role, yes. Almost all of the clans, whenever they are low on money, borrow from the Large Rats. The Frostbusters, one of the lower clans, roughly around 1 to 200,000 gold pieces in debt to the Large Rat clan.
Hey, dude. James, give the order. I'll throw the bag in front of him right now. I
Do it.
don't care.
Pay the debt right now.
However, there are other houses amongst the other territories that are somewhere around the 1.5 to 2 million gold pieces in debt in some cases.
We want to pay it to this guy.
How deep in debt would Treasure Horn be? I'm guessing not very in this instance.
Roll me a profession, merchant.
This one I should be good at.
So,
Okay, please.
Well, you rolled that. Roll in what you're saying.
We probably shouldn't throw money around in front of these guys because it's probably just going to insult the entire army.
That is also.
Yeah,
a good
no,
point.
don't throw it now. Fucking
Just,
damn
just
it,
tell
that
them.
one.
Just tell them that
That debt'll be
that
settled
debt,
within the day.
yeah, that's pushover.
To your
Yeah,
answer. Oh, sorry. Roll me. I didn't mean to
I'm
cut you off. Okay. To your answer to the 7, they are a family of merchants who specialize in hunting down creatures literally that are known to glimmer with scales that look like coin. The Treasure Horns are one of the richer families, which is why they've been able to kind of maintain most of their independence.
Okay, so they should be. I won't need to worry about that, hopefully.
Correct. But as he looks up at you and kind of waits for a response,
I can settle that debt within a day.
he nods as you say that. And
So
kinda,
again, and I have my own connections to sell this hammer off to people that I don't even believe the Grey Rats could. Same with the cloak.
at the mention of Grey Rats, you see the slightest of twinges from
I said this on purpose.
the young man as he kind of looks up his very his kind of darker skin, brownish, a little bit more brownish hair with the mixed in with the white. Kind of looks up at you. His brown eyes kind of catching
James
or locking
is
with yours,
smiling.
and goes, am I to understand that the Ironheart and the clan of Frostbusters choosing not to work and act nobly on a deal between two noble houses? You're choosing to refuse the debts of the army you've defeated and taken into custody.
from my understanding as nobility, I don't need to pay them anything. I can send them off.
Yeah. To your own perspective, just even with the low on it, typically like Rollman would have explained to you during that hour of like what to do with this army. The soldiers are the main part. Now, kind of looking at this, if these two do manage to rally this, there's a good chance they could turn around and attack you. They are nobles, and peasants will attack if they think there's money in it. So that's kind of the perspective. If you're paying these peasants, they may go off on their own willingly. But in the perspective of if
Can
they
I
think there's
estimate
money,
how much it would have cost to mobilize this army?
you want to roll? I'll give you another chance of profession mercenary, or not mercenary, merchant.
Merchant.
Yeah.
Because this is an entirely different thing. 24.
For the amount of time it's been marching, the amount of time it'll take to siege out you if you decide to like go back into the castle and refuse them, and basically like put this into an actual siege, being guesstimation roughly about a month. I'll say is what Rolleman would have given you for free before, like if like as a game plan is if this army decided to siege you down, it'd probably take a month to take the city, unless they had some sort of explosives. In that case, it'd probably take about another week. With that, being an army of roughly about 24,000, you do that by about 5 silver pieces or 10 silver pieces for 2 weeks. Plus another
Cool.
bit of change. You're looking at probably 2, maybe 3 gold pieces max for the entirety, or for each troop. So
About 75k?
roughly, yeah. And that's not
I can
counting
provide-
the arms and armor that they were given.
I can provide you in coin today the 75,000 that would have been promised to be split among the army without any issues, on top of paying off the debts that Frostbuster has to the large rat clan. But you are not getting the items.
Looks up at you and goes, alright, how about this? I'll cancel the Frostbuster debt, but in exchange, all the arms from all captured soldiers of the Stronghelm clan go to my clan. And I split the charge of the basic swords, hammers, axes, once I sell them off between me and the Mithril Bones. Is that not a fair deal, James? You can't take all these weapons, I imagine, yourself.
Can I?
I can smile because I can fit all this shit in a single room.
True. What's
can't.
up, Syndra?
I want to see, because that many swords would still be less than 75k. So
Yeah.
I want to check Spellcraft if there's magic items and magic weapons that he's hoping to sell among the random troops. Maybe among the more elite troops.
Yeah, give me a spellcraft in general. Let's see what you find out. In the meantime, actually no, yeah, we'll just go with that. So I think that'll work.
Am I doing good, guys? I feel like I'm doing my best here.
You're doing fine.
Hey, you haven't died yet. 17?
27.
27, damn. Alright. As you go, as you kind of look about the army, you start to notice, I mean, so there's about maybe 2,000 amongst them that seem to be wearing higher quality gear than what looks to be basic work. Roughly most of these look to be masterwork. Most of them look to have minor either bits of spells or enchantment magic put to it. You'd guesstimate based on that, there's probably maybe 60 grand worth of magical armor and weapons, and at the lowest quality, to be fair. I mean, these are officers, but they're still a decent value for the amount of swords, axes, and as well as horses that you see amongst them, a couple of iron armadillo that you see amongst them. There's definitely enough here to make the money back, but it's mostly going to come from the officers' gear, which will cause an issue with your own knowledge and nobility. Just as a noteworthy thing, that the officers typically will keep their gear after war because they are usually the more professionally trained. They will go home with this. This is their personal gear they've spent money on because they're lifers in a sense.
They're gonna get the money back, but these nobles are gonna piss off a lot of people.
Yes, is what you get the sense of. Like this guy seems like he is fully does not give two shits. He's going to get his money no matter what.
This deal is just the best he can do to try and make something out of this.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, I was checking because I thought that there was more money he was gonna get out of that, and that's why he's all in. But I'll look to James and like give him like a half smile.
Would I understand that by taking the officer stuff, it would piss people off?
With your knowledge of nobility earlier, I mean, it's common. I mean, that'd be common knowledge. Yeah. Given what the officers would be carrying of the variety of weapons and them all being +1 masterworks, yeah.
Because I'm just speaking on, and it's very easy to tell that I'm just speaking about the army en masse disarming for those that aren't lifers, aren't officers, essentially.
Well, they can't tell that. You told the whole army.
That's
Yeah.
fair.
Well, also they lost, so basically anything they have is forfeit.
Yep, which is why, yes, that's why the troops are offering to fight to the death in a sense. Whereas the nobles are smarter and realize that they can work their way out of this.
I'll like saunter over to James casually at my normal slow pace. I'm not in a rush.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll basically tell him he's gonna tip all of the officers' money. They're gonna hate him and not you if you just let him.
You understand all problems that arise from that will be on you, then. I accept.
How about Junior nods and goes, fine. I will collect of those troops that you have captured. I will collect their arms and armor for those that are willing to give up the armor, and then I will allow the rest to go home.
The armor, I put a hand up. They keep their armor. Walking home in this time period is a danger.
He nods and goes, that is true. And there's a better choice that we will walk back in numbers anyways. I'd rather have them at least armored up so that way they can form a shield wall. He bows at that and goes, you are quite wise, James. I appreciate your dealings. I will take the men and we will be out of your hair. I will spread the news of your kindness and respect to the nobility as well as the common man.
Sense motive.
Go ahead and give me a sense motive.
Of course.
And what are you trying to catch?
How much bullshit is he spewing?
Okay.
Wait, so if he's gonna be spiteful, in his.
I assume, yeah, it's more the spitefulness than okay. 22. James. It's kind of hard to tell with this individual. He is definitely a trained merchant. You get the sense he's very good at speaking the lines. He's very silver-tongued. It almost sounds like he believes it. And as you look amongst the men, you can definitely tell the soldiers seem to kind of think that this was the best option. Some of the officers do look disgruntled that kind of catch your eye, but as you look on at him, focusing your attention, he doesn't seem to have scorn towards you, but it definitely feels like he is unfriendly. You can tell he's unfriendly towards you. There's something. He definitely feels like he got gypped in a sense. You get the sense that he was expecting you to roll over almost immediately against this massive army, and he's thinking you have something much scarier that you're not telling, and that's why he's backing off. And given, as you think about it, given your intelligence and wisdom, it looks like you killed Odger, or one of your companions did. Even if the three of you did, that's still a very massively respectful thing, because you're pretty sure that even three of Odger's children couldn't even take him on. If the three of you manage to take him out, you have something hidden in there, they're not going to try and fight you. It's not worth it to them. They're probably going to die.
I would also like the head of the Large Rat clan and the Mithril Bone clan to reach out to me. I have some things I would like to discuss with them.
But Junior kind of nods to that, and the third-born Mithril son kind of nods as well, and he looks as Abbott Junior looks back and goes, "I'll have runners sent within the hour. If you have a letter you'd like them written specifically, feel free to let me know. Otherwise, I'll let them know that you're just looking to meet."
That I am.
Okay, nods. Yes, Cinder, what's up?
No, I was just saying, if they started a fight, I was going to kill them all.
Oh, that's fair. You see as the army kind of begins to organize, the officers, though grumbling, seem to go about their business, not seemingly kind of understanding the deal as they go about, but as things kind of quiet down, you see you feel the tension around in the air kind of calm, as Cinder kind of rejoins you with Tim still holding the hammer and a cloak.
I will recollect the Oger's weapon as well that I dropped.
Okay.
We could also, I turn to James and ask, I can be part of helping gather the weapons and see if there's any promising people who are willing to join us.
I'd be happy if you would do that, but we also have to have you inside in case those 3 act up. I don't believe I can take a good hit.
I can go handle the 3.
I'll see if I can
All
find
right
some
then,
talent.
Rollman, see if you can find anyone promising for Odger to rely on at this point. He lost everyone.
Is true. So I'll go do that. We'll assist in the gathering weapons and keep an
Okay.
eye out for people that.
I will also
Uh,
send 2 stands.
Okay. Gotcha.
Look for hidden weapons.
That is a
They'll keep an eye out for
choice.
hidden weapons and make sure no one tries to
Okay.
bullshit at this point.
As Rollman heads to begin working with the troops, collecting up the arms and armor, or rather, sorry, the arms in this case with the 2 stands, as well as a couple of the surviving officers, such as Pierre and Graf, as the 2 of them will join in.
Yeah, I'll promise that people that I find promising to bring back with us, they keep their arms armor, and we'll give them like 50 gold as a signing on sort of thing.
How much are you
10
offering?
gold. 10 gold. 10
Okay.
gold sign
10
on.
10
Do
gold.
not offer
gold.
50.
10 gold. That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
And I'm not offering it to
Mr.
anyone. I'm only offering it to people. I'm not gonna be like say,
Yeah,
hey,
no.
join us, get 10 gold. I'm just gonna look for the people that are like, this guy would be good for us.
How much are you gonna offer for pay? Like, what's the pay you're giving,
What's standard pay?
James?
They would be getting 2.5 gold a month as mercenaries, or they'd be relying on what they earned as mercenaries if they wish to.
Basically,
Absolutely.
they get loot or they get a payment.
Yeah.
Okay. Give me a diplomacy check and then a profession merchant or mercenary, or I'll take an appraise.
All right.
As James is gonna head back inside, exhausted from dealing with people at this point.
Oh yeah. Don't worry. We'll get to it in a minute. There's the diplomacy, I assume.
Yep.
18. All right. Fantastic. I'm gonna go get another cup of coffee here in a minute. I'll tell you.
That's the mercenary.
14. Okay. As you look amongst them, what kind of quality are we talking? Are we talking like level 1 warrior minimum, or are we talking like anybody who's good enough with a sword to have a feat?
I'd say both. People
Okay.
that are not necessarily looking for power right now, but people that are like have potential as well.
Okay. Out of the 450 is it that you guys have?
Oh, I'm not going into the 20,000.
Oh, you're gonna go help out with. Oh, you're gonna help out with the big army. Got you.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, because those ones in
I'm
there, we're
coaching right
keeping
now.
those arms and armor. They don't get those ones.
Got you. For the 24,000, there are 3 officers that catch your attention. I'll send you their names. That are all level 1 fighters. Here, I'll just post them in the chat because I know it won't matter. They go by Thomek Thunderblood, Randrak Boldax, Brandon Great Helm, and Amalcom Firerock. They do not any of them have clans at all to claim. Their last names are just the surnames they've taken for themselves. They all are capable fighters and seem to mark amongst the top ranked of the officer corps in this army. They also seem to be Odger or some of Odger's old personal officers, though not high enough rank to have been brought within the stronghold when it was attacked. Otherwise, roughly of the 24,000, about 500 of them by your willing or by your check and that are willing are capable warriors and sailors. Many of them seem to have either spent their time working on the ocean as fishermen, or have spent their time basically in the army fighting against beasts and creatures and other houses that when they used to pop up. As you roughly get through the number of those who will join, in total, 250 will join on for that pay.
Okay. I will not let any join that still have like a following of Odger like that seem
No loyalty to Odger.
Yeah, no loyalty to Augur.
So you won't take the 4 officers, I assume. Okay.
I assume if they, yeah.
Yeah. They would. I will say they are from old enough to have been from his days when he first gained his house, if you will. So, not
Yeah, not
taken.
them.
Okay, cool.
Oh, yeah, did I find the cow?
There you did not find a cow amongst them.
Yeah.
But as you know, give me a search check. Actually, let's see how far this goes. Let's see if you can manage to spot anything of interest of cow like.
We're being stalked by a fucking cow.
You see, it's actually the anvil as a cow.
I swear to God, it better not.
Dude, he's this giant meat bowl that's like just going around with the deepest bellowing moo just to annoy people.
18.
Dude, I've been watching these like farming videos. I tell you, the bulls, man, they're scary when you hear them in the distance. 18. As you look about, there is a couple of there's about 12 iron armadillos that are look to be saddled up. 14 telpas, which are basically mole-like creatures that are saddled up, and 3 camels, but no single cow or bull anywhere to be seen.
Maybe an armadillo made that sound.
As Roland feels creeped out looking about, watching the trees in the distance, looking for any signs of a creature, as he continues amongst the soldiers working with them. And then give me a listen... Actually, no, rather, give me a gather info, let's call it.
Okay.
Roland, for the info, for a little bit of bluffs and such you have before we jump over to Syndra.
It was like the talk of like all the
the common soldiers, the stuff that they, what they mention, anything that catches your attention,
8.
8. All right. So you hear a couple of them talking about the fact that they've been followed by a cow-like creature for months, as the army has been marching around and in training. The troops, many of them seem to be tired, ready to go home, wanting to go and get ready for the spring planting, and so that way they can get their crops in early, which, as you kind of note, makes sense given the fact that the snowbeards have a very short growing time period for anything above ground, and those typically are their sweeter and more flavorful vegetables and fruits that they grow. Which also means, hey, good news, come summer and fall, the alcohol and ales get a lot sweeter. And more like vibrant flavor. But otherwise, many of them seem to have been kind of grimacing and not really wanting to do this fight. There seems to be a lot of talk amongst them that this wasn't exactly a wanted battle, more of a rushed one. Though they most seem to hesitate to explain what they were training for prior and what was going on as you kind of go about. One explains he lost 10,000 coin to a hog that was walking on 2 legs. Another mentions seeing a spider woman that never blinked and stared at him that he thought was hot and wishes he could have taken home. Though she vanished after a drunken night and he thinks it was like a mermaid. Someone speaking about a celestial angel coming down and blessing the army in the night's sleep beforehand to watch James be killed, and James making a deal with a demon-like creature to save himself and his company. Otherwise, nothing else kind of catches your attention. It seems to kind of be a lot of mostly just grumbling about wanting to go home, seeing their wives, some guys sleeping with other guys' wives, some guy sleeping with another soldier. Things of that matter.
Yeah. What about the guy that had like was that a dream you said about the being blessed and shit?
Yeah.
He seemed different.
He did seem...
Guy.
He did seem, as you look over at him, he looks to be a bit older, by your guesstimation. Probably someone who's been on maybe 30, 40 campaigns in his life. By the guess, just a quick look at him, his armor and arms look to be very customized. His knife, you catch immediately clocking it as made out of some sort of foreign bone you've never seen before. But from even here, you can feel magic coming off it, and you're not a magic caster, which really catches your attention. As the air thickens around him, he's got what looks to be a rough white staff on his back with a teardrop-like gemstone on it that glimmers and looks to be like a gemstone or mixed with sap. His armor is covered in a mix of moss and leather, and his hair and eyes are just something about them are wild. His hair is kind of all over the place with its white fluffiness. His beard slightly almost wrapped around his his stomach twice as a belt. It keeps him almost his chest completely covered. His eyes a bright and glimmering a snow white color, and he just looks like he is crazy as hell, Rollman, as you look him up and down.
I ask a different soldier, you know who that guy is?
A young soldier kind of looks up at you as he's handing over his sword to one of the officers. He's like walking behind you with a bucket and looks up and goes, "Oh, yeah, we call him Regis. Regis the Brown, because he browns himself every height. But he's crazy as hell. He talks about seeing things with wings, seeing spiders, stars walking around. He even claims he can absorb magic and some other thing. All I know about him is he's been fighting longer than Ogger Stronghelm. He's been on every campaign, supposedly. One of the older men that were with us a while back, passed away a few battles back, told us that old Regis has been with the military, the Snowbeards, since they came here. Which, I don't think it's true, because he doesn't look that old. I don't think physically possible, but shoot, he fights like it. And clubs you upside the head, and it knocks out like 4 soldiers. His dagger pops out and thing like unleashes shadows that eat people. It's terrifying. He is one of the men we just don't mess with.
Very interesting. Thanks.
He
I
nods.
give him a silver piece.
Kid takes it and looks up at you and goes, "It's true about what they say about the Ironhearts. You guys do shit gold for any bit of information. Hey, anything else you want to know, man, feel free to ask me. Name's Mornum."
All right.
Kind of pockets the silver as he goes to talk to the others. As you hear a couple of them laughing as he mentions something about buying drinks for a lot of them. As he sits down with a group of soldiers after who have set their arms down.
Much better than handing him fucking 5 gold pieces. That's what we would have.
Turns out, yeah, silver piece is still plenty of money for most commoners.
Dude, I've been overpaying for information.
No, right? This guy was happy enough. He got around of drinks just being rolling in off that easily.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I'm out of my depth in terms of the talk of this old crazy guy, so I'll just make a note of him. And I'll just, when I come back.
We have our own old crazy person who can go talk to him.
As you look at Regis, kind of making a note, he looks at you and he just locks eyes with you, Rollman, and he goes in Dwarvish and then switches to Elvish. And by that I mean by primitive. And he goes, "You, I see it. I see you betraying him. The Alps, the snowy Alps. You'll stab him, and then the spider will win. Then the spell forge will rise. You're going to do it. Betray us all!" As he starts shouting loudly as some of the soldiers kind of shut up. One of them, as you say this, go ahead.
I like to go look at it with the corner of my eye. I'm going to shout back to him what I see.
As you look out of the corner of your eye, you see yourself cutting his throat in what looks to be a beautiful dining hall filled with glimmering gold plates, chairs, dishes, and what looks to be James's own banner kind of standing behind you.
Interesting. Okay. I'm gonna go continue what I was doing.
Roland steps away, kind of processing that for a moment. We jump back over to Syndra. As James goes, kind of waves you off, Syndra, Rollman kind of turns, heading down towards the army, kind of whistling for a couple of the officers to start following him around, with pointing to what looks to be a couple of large buckets on wheels, basically. As they start kind of going through the camp, and you can hear the clattering of swords, you and James start kind of walking back up towards the castle, over the bridge, and almost a bit of a bitter quietness as the moonlight kind of disappears and the clouds kind of cover once again. As the two of you head in, James kind of giving you a wave as he heads off to go take a moment to get find a place to sleep and rest. Looking about and heading into one of the towers.
Before I do that, I'm going to be going with Syndra, because I do have to use a spell.
Oh, okay. My apologies. I thought when you had mentioned you'd want to
to
go
go
and
piss?
rest,
Of people, but there's stuff that needs done.
As James kind of stops at the tower door, seeing the bed longingly, a beautiful nobleman's bed, seeing the silk sheets, kind of looks back at Syndra, closes the door, and as he grimaces, giving one last look at the bed and thinking about the comforts of nobility again as he shuts it and turns and heads over to Syndra, who's completely just walking off and kind of going about their business as they head towards the long hall.
Dude, I refill my pipe. I'm having a good time.
What do you fill it with this time?
Oh yeah, what do you fill in it? Good point.
We're back to the healing flowers. I don't need the mana flowers right now.
Rosmium.
All right, roll me a
Except for that good
1d100 effect, please.
Ooh.
Because you haven't cleaned the ash out of this thing, right? I said you haven't cleaned the ash out of this thing, right? Oh my god.
I never said I did, so I'm gonna say I'd like to say yes, but I'm gonna say no because I never said I did.
Alright.
Alright, Syndra fucking dies.
That'd be wild.
Give me a minute. I have to
She's gonna have a heart attack and die.
I have to go grab my random book. Give me a second. I have a bookmark for this.
Amen. Entirely possible that I just have a heart attack. Well, I can't really have a heart attack anymore. That's not possible.
You get Genus Verde again.
That'd be really bad because I think I would die if that happened.
Why?
Because the
Clan of
genus,
Amazonian demons.
the genus
Oh.
Verte would start fighting the curse that's keeping me female.
I see.
You blink to being male for half a second.
Like, my body might hit some weird middle ground where it's like half male, female. I might start fucking
The
dying.
hermaphrodite!
Nah, dude, the genetic code's gonna start splitting between male and female. I'm gonna fucking explode.
Also instant death.
Alright, let us see what happens. This is going to make for an interesting situation.
Note to self, start casting prejudiciation on his pipe.
No, that'd be a bad idea because he needs the ash to make the thing work.
Yeah, I meant when he goes to switch flowers.
Ah, that's understandable.
How do you not use a spell to clean the magical shit out of the thing?
It's also
Just
just a
clean it
pipe.
out.
I can clean it.
No
Like,
way.
All right.
just get me a something.
Perfect. So, as you begin to you can begin to smoke this, inhaling it, you feel as your body slightly trembles, a bit of a chill kind of coming over you, for the once in your lifetime, ironically. As this chill kind of hits you for a moment, you take 1 point of damage.
Owie.
As you sneeze quite hard and feel the smoke go straight out your nose, and feel the insatiable burning effect.
The first point of damage I've taken since we got to the fort.
Oh, you have no idea. That could have been 100 points of damage, by the way.
I know.
Because it wasn't that you rolled 1d100, it's that I rolled a 1 the second time. So that is a 1, so basically you were up to a point of taking up to 100 points of damage from this, inhaling from this pipe.
I look down and I just go, that's fine.
Just kind of sneeze, looking over and see James
Ginger, are you
walk up
getting
next to you.
sick?
I don't think I can get sick.
Did you... Wait. Which flower are you smoking?
I will say, as you look back, James, you do see that Tim has vanished.
Well, yeah, the summoning time would have ended.
Yeah. Wait. Where's the hammer and cloak?
Well, it depends, because I keep hearing Syndra say that they're picking up O'Garen's hammer, which is, if I'm understanding that correctly...
No, Augur's hammer. His little mace wand thing, the mage. He had a little...
The naked mage had a...
Oh, his thing.
Yeah.
Okay, got you. Okay, yes.
Because I confiscated his casting focus. I've been carrying it.
Yes, because
And then
it's
I
just a
can use it
casting
afterwards.
focus. Yes, that's why. Okay, got you. I thought you said O'Garen, like O'Garen.
No,
I was like,
mage-
wow, all right, listen.
No, because you have O'Garen. The guy's name is Augur.
Yeah, my apology. I was making sure.
No, I'm not crazy. I'm holding this little
yeah.
wand.
Hey, hush you, Roman.
Where is
I'll
the hammer and cloak?
Hold
on a second.
It did. I would have said as soon as Syndra sneezed, it would have fallen right behind her, as Tim would have poofed out of existence.
It's on the floor.
So it's just on the ground.
Do we think we can wrap that in cloth?
You'll have to figure it out. I can't summon another Tim.
Funny.
Who's expendable?
I mean, I can summon a lower creature, but it's not going to be built for carrying things.
I can summon something just to carry them.
What's even on the Summon Nature Ally 2 list?
Monkey.
Well, if you want to take a second, if you want to take a second,
use
look
the
at it.
monkey
I'm
one
gonna grab water real quick.
I think the
To
monkey's
get a
on,
note.
the monkey's on Summon Nature Ally 1. Yeah.
Um,
Does
I
the
can-
monkey have strength to lift the hammer? I don't think so. It's a
Oh.
size tiny animal. I don't think it does.
I can bring something that can carry it, but it won't do much.
What your
Unseen servant.
Yeah, those don't carry very much. They carry like 5 pounds, man.
This is a really big, heavy hammer. I don't think.
They can carry the cloak.
All right, I have an idea. I can summon a crocodile and it can just grab them in their mouth and keep walking.
Just bring it into
You know
the
what?
James'
Go
room.
with it. I don't want to touch this thing.
This is Jonathan. Jonathan? The ice
Jonathan?
crocodile.
As
Jonathan the
Cinder
crocodile.
like waves her hand, taking a puff, and blows out this smoke in the form of an alligator onto the ground. It forms into this icicle out of the ground, as if it pulls the water and shapes itself. As it hardens, it turns into a slightly blue Jonathan the alligator. As it looks up kind of looks up at you and nods its head and opens its mouth and leans down, kind of scoops up both items and kind of starts walking forward.
Here. James, if you want to prep whatever to wrap it in, he can help you out.
As we walk, I will keep an eye out for like a blanket, a very, very thick blanket or pelt.
Yeah, give me a search check. Yeah.
I am not touching that.
Listen, Syndra is not a that. They have rights now. They've had rights for a while.
No, Syndra, I'm fine with touching. I'm not touching the fucking hammer.
Oh, now you have a thing
Somewhat
for your
argue.
aunt. That's a whole new
Some would
thing.
argue, as a demon, I have more rights than I ever did.
And if you don't agree with that, you're gonna find
22.
out why.
Nat 20. God damn.
Nice. As you look about, there's not any blankets that kind of catch your attention, James, but as you two head into the main hall, seeing in the corner the large strong helm sigil that Rollman had pulled down, that had been used as basically this massive coat of arms. It's made of a thick wool, and it is huge. It's about almost the size of a small sail for a ship, only with twice the thickness of a wool blanket.
Pulling
as
that
you,
down, having the hammer, and laying it out flat, get the hammer set on it, and wrapping it and the cloak up in it.
Yeah.
Actually, no, separately. Not putting the cloak and that together.
Okay.
Also, we don't need to wrap. The cloak doesn't have a curse just for touching it, only for wearing it. You can
Yeah,
touch
so
Correct.
wrapping the hammer up in that.
You have to have the intent of wearing to be specific, because then the idea of if someone puts it on you in this idea, the item should not activate unless you were intending to. And I'm making that a clear thing now for your own knowledge for later.
You don't want Rolliman to do the great stick of death again?
What a callback.
That's exactly actually what I'm calling back.
I might
now.
get the hammer to
Oh.
I'm gonna sell this hammer off probably within the next 24 to 48 hours.
That cloak on a stick was brilliant. But
Or the
as Jonathan walks over, he'll kind of set it down as James pulls out the large sigil and pulls up to the main ground. Most of the corpses at this point cleaned out of the meeting room, a meeting hall, as Melvin's just kind of sitting there, staring at the three individuals who are still chained up, having not really moved. The two of them seem to be leaning against each other, kind of snoring. The young lady, it seems to be just kind of sitting there, watching, not really doing anything as she waits. As James kind of goes over and does this, Jonathan following along with him. Syndra, the young prisoner, looks over at you, and Melvin just kind of looks up and goes, "They didn't do anything. and kind of just holds out the chain for you.
Appreciate it, Melvin, and I'll kind of swap places with him and sit.
He kind of stands up and then just nods and kind of starts walking out of the long hall towards back out towards the ship.
All right.
Once the hammer is wrapped up, I'm casting a simple spell.
Uh-huh.
Detect evil, and I'm looking over at the three.
Okay, we'll get to that in a second. Go ahead, Syndra.
So, I looked at the young lady who I never got her name, so I'm going to ask who she is. Because even in her document, no one knew what her name was.
Yep.
So, care to introduce yourself before we talk?
She looks up at you. Roll me a diplomacy check here.
How dramatic is Syndra?
Mm-hmm.
Better than you think, not as good as I hope, is the answer.
Oh no.
Is my diplomacy?
Let me check, because I have a class that gives a buff. Let me check how much of a buff.
That's nice.
I think it's a +4. So I think it's a plus.
Out diplomacy, he's James naturally. Why I'm leading the company is beyond me.
I don't want to lead it. Fuck you. Keep it away from me.
Alright,
the
so
same-
you're not the head of the company.
It's the same reason why the smartest people don't run countries, is because they don't want the stress of having to run a country.
I guess that makes James smart.
Right?
Bonuses. Oh, look at that. Oh my god.
Oh wow.
And you said you're using detect alignment or detect evil, just to make sure.
Detect evil, because for the detect alignment spells, you have to state which one you are detecting.
Yeah. Okay, got you. I see that. All right, cool. 27. As she looks up at you, she kind of smiles for a moment, and as she does, she looks at Cinder dead in the eyes. Give me a moment. As I pull up my noon list here of people. Ah, yes. And she will introduce herself. If I can get to copy without. There we go. And I was responding to something for James for a moment. Her name is Brenora. In Dwarvish, this roughly means one with the shield.
Alright, Brenora. You call me Syndra.
She kind of looks up at you and kind of gives a bit of a defiant glare. Before you get into it, allow me to answer James with your detect evil. All right. So Ogair is evil.
Mm-hmm.
Adger is evil.
I'm saying that.
And Brenora is not.
Oh. You know, we thought it was going to be the other way around between her and Ogre.
Yeah,
No?
yeah. I'm gonna follow that up with a detect lawful.
Okay, to answer that as well, to give you a quick one. Ogair is not. Adger is not. The young lady Brenora is.
Well, she's the most honorable out of them.
And she's already the one I'm talking to.
But yeah, she looks up as James quickly kind of casts this, his eyes glimmering with magic as he looks over at them, as he wraps up the hammer. Jonathan smiling as he holds the cloak in his mouth as he feels wanted and loved.
I give Jonathan a pat. Good gator.
The ice skater seems to be very appreciative. But as Syndra, as you look down at Brenora, what would you like to say?
Now, we're having a little bit of a problem of what to do with you three. Because obviously we can't exactly trust you three. So if there's anything you want to do to plead your case, what we should do with you, now's your time.
She looks up at you and just smiles and spits on the ground up to the side of your shoe and goes, "The strong helms stand strong, even in death."
Yeah. Yeah, sadly we frost axes are the same.
for us.
I know what I said, motherfucker. I know what I said. And I heard
James is just focusing on this hammer.
James, under his breath, frost axe. What's a frost axe? As he's like going back in his mental note and realizing it must have been like long after I left the lands. Rolleman's head in the distance is becoming a headache. That's why he went to deal with the peasants.
You'd still get your chance to stand tall. Not in death, not in shame. Someone has to take up the clan head seat.
She looks up at you with a defiant glare in her eyes and goes, "And you want me to be the one who turns against my clan? I'd sooner take death. Ask one of those two. They're traitors to the clan anyways," as she spits on the ground next to them.
Yeah, well, they're both shit. At least in my opinion.
She nods and smiles as she looks over at them.
One pissed himself the moment I just walked up to him. And the other, well, I would not ever recommend putting a blackout drunk in charge.
She nods again and then looks at you, still defiance in her eyes.
I could put this a different way. Help you understand a little better. If you don't do it, we don't have many other options. And while we're not going to do anything, if no one takes the clan head, who's going to look after all the others that aren't of age yet? Or the city? Or anyone else? You'd have your chance to rebuild. Not like we wanted this fight.
She just looks at you, gives you a glare, and goes, "We fought. We lost. Do what you must."
Yeah, what I must is getting you to agree to a plan of action. That's not really getting anywhere, is it?
Give me a sense motive to see if you can tell why she's so defiant.
They lost. They have a lawful code. This is their lawful code.
You know, I'm actually better at this than I thought I was.
James still in the background.
Wisdom skills.
James picking up one of the side books as he sees the noble houses and like, we're looking for frost axe, and with a bloodied finger as he looks about it.
No, James has moved on. He's now thinking about how the fuck do we get this girl to agree?
26. You get the sense this young lady does not seem to be interested at all in ruling. You get the immediate intention she is not going to take your deal. Secondly, she is 100% does have an oath, and from what you can tell, she has sworn her oath to the House of Stronghelm. Given the House's belief and focus and views, it's probably that they're in a sense to a death cult. They fight to the death. There is no dishonor. Now, that given said, given how defiant and what she looked at the other two as, you kind of get the sense that she also, those two will be probably easier to manipulate and control as she stands by her word.
So you'd take a shameful defeat then?
There's no shame in defeat. There's only shame in fighting as a coward.
There's shame as a champion when you didn't even make it to the inner fighting.
Say what you will, I fulfilled my duty and lost. Either kill me or be done with it. I have no interest in trading words with someone who uses demons to do their bidding.
I kind of just roll my eyes and I look. Are the other two both asleep, or is it just one of them?
Yeah, both of them are completely unconscious.
Of course. James, dear, if you could have someone come take the young lady whenever so I can talk to the other two.
Rolleman's got the respect emoji going on in the background.
I'll know. We'll deal with her later.
I'll talk to her as I walk her somewhere. Probably can find a cell.
James leaving, finishing wrapping up the hammer as he shoves it underneath Jonathan as Jonathan looks up and smiles at James again, like guards it as if it's his nest egg, watching as James walks off.
I'll be leading her off too.
Yep, as the two of you, as the chain kind of cracks at Syndra's kind of snap of her fingers, the ice splitting apart at the chain where it was connected to the other two. She still shackled, kind of follows after you as she heads out, looks back at Syndra and then looks at you, James, and goes, "So is this where you put my head on a stake, or are you the weak-willed one that's going to do all the gutting?"
I honestly didn't want a fight. I
Ah,
honestly meant it when I asked for peace, and your father betrayed that dishonorably and tried to kill me.
eh,
You
say
can
it
blame
was-
him for anything that's coming.
You can say it's a dishonor, but at least he didn't use a demon because he couldn't win in a fair fight.
I
Yeah.
used every resource. That's what true war is.
Aye, and we lost. But enough with the jabbering. Put my head on a spike, for the words of a loser are of no value to the winner. Just remember, I like to face the sun when I die. As she quiets herself and kind of follows after you, not making you really even pull on her chain as she willingly follows along.
James was going to spend the time talking to her, explaining his point of it all. And that he doesn't want more bloodshed. It's not worth it at this fucking point.
It's
Where are you taking her?
cool.
I'm going to be looking for a room that doesn't have a window that we can lock her in.
Damn.
There's a tomb.
Yeah, there's also an axe in that tomb that's +3 that she might actually be able to hurt me with right now. I don't really feel like dealing with that.
Take the axe, lock her in.
Where am I? Am I still doing?
You know
Yeah,
what?
you're
Yeah,
down.
right,
Yeah,
I'll
you're
go in
down
there
in
and
little
take
camp.
the axe and put her in there, I guess.
You're still, yeah, Roman. You're still amongst the camp collecting weapons during this. Yeah. James, as you head down, kind of heading through the tower, as you do, passing a few of the snowbeards who amongst the troop that were captured, kind of marching as they do. As you head down, seeing the two of them standing at attention, acting as guards, wearing Drift's own emblem on their chest, already kind of covering over the strong hammer or the strong helm sigil. They both
So they've
look at
already been
you.
recruited.
Yeah, they both look up at you, kind of seeing you, and as you give the order, one of them walks in, goes and picks up the axe and brings it out while you head in to drop her off. And she kind of looks at you and sits down and glares and goes, "Finally, peace and quiet. You're gonna seal me in and suffocate me? I'll not give you a fight. And I don't care about any of your want for peace. The family lost. You're barking up the wrong damn tree. And I have little to no interest in a merchant who can't do anything by himself. Now, your friend, if he was a snowbeard, I might listen to him. But he's a filthy primitive. And
Then
deserves..."
you're a fool, an idiot, and a coward. As I'll walk out.
You kind of cut her off. She kind of looks at you and gives a bit of a glare as you head out. Two guards.
And I
kinda
have
stand at
time for
attention.
none of those anymore.
As you say this, as you walk out, heading as the last comment she hears, a small little, what looks to be kind of a metal door that the men have kind of cobbled together, shuts on the cell. As you head upstairs, we jump
I'll
back.
be grabbing the axe and bringing it with me. I don't trust people with that thing.
Fair. We jump back to Syndra. As Syndra, you see James head out, and the two of them kind of still talking somewhat in the hallway, looking at the two prisoners still in front of you, kind of snoring as their heads rest on each other, one resting on the other's shoulder. What do you wish to do?
Let's try to wake up the drunk first.
There's plenty of cold water.
Give me a heal check.
Oh, Cameron, I am the cold water buddy.
The water is as ice.
It be like ice.
Ice, ice, baby.
That's Cinder's theme song.
Right, 24. As you kind of lean forward and look at him, like putting your finger under his nose to see if he's breathing, do you catch it for a moment? If separating the two, as you kind of lightly put the younger Lord Adger onto pushed up against the table as he continues kind of snoring, and lightly smacking the side of the cheek of Ogier. He seems to kind of wake up, feeling the chilling touch as he looks at you, eyes kind of slightly slowly opening as he looks around, trying to absorb, take in the bright light and the glimmer from the candlelight in here. As he looks about, kind of looking at you, he goes, "Oh, I must have died and gone to paradise. Are you my prize?"
I just stare, and you're still alive.
"Oh, so we won, and I've been rewarded with a goddess.
I look
Fantastic."
down at the. I lift the dangling chain in front of his face. You lost.
"Oh, you say that, but I'm more into this than you think."
Damn, I was just
We're
going to
walking
type that
back
out.
into the room.
No, you are not, James. You are heading towards the cells. As he looks up at you, Syndra, and kind of gives a wink and an honorary smile.
Yeah. You can flirt after. So, your dad's dead, your clan has no leader, and the sister refused to cooperate. Something about an oath. So I'll try with you. What should we do with you?
Kind of hiccups and looks at you with a smile on his face and goes, "Lock me up and throw away the key."
I can and will purge your system of alcohol.
"You're just no fun, mistress."
We could threaten castration.
Thought a fellow Warrowan would be a little more. Alright, whatever.
Oh, you want me to be competent? Oh, you want me to tell you about the demonic magic you're giving up? He hiccups again and he goes, "Or the fact that I can tell you're from the House of Idjin?" Hiccups once more and kind of smiles and goes, "Oh, or that your whole family is related to the Meadmancers in the House of Stone." "Oh, I can see it all. I can read your magic. I can see your interest. And I know you think I'm hot."
You know, you were right about everything. The last thing.
Yeah, shrugs. It goes, 9 out of 10 isn't bad for my odds. Will you punish me later for it?
Maybe if you can come to an agreement.
Oh, all business, no bite. Well, if I actually believed you could kill my father, I would really be concerned for my safety. Now, that's not to say I don't believe he's dead. I can't sense him anymore, and I can tell that one of you is marked by the individual you made a deal with. I can tell you don't mean me any harm, and I can tell that your boss is as innocent as a kitten on a Tuesday.
He is. That's why I'm the one talking to you.
It's true. It's why I also can tell that you're more than willing to kill me with your murderous intent. Or though I feel it more towards my brother, I can also tell that you are wishing my sister had given you the deal, as her deal oath-taking would have been valuable if she had made a deal with you and your demonic interests. And the tall, skinny, tall drink of water. Did I mention he's tall? I can tell, only is here out of a confusion for his interested friendship with the innocent one, a concern for the one-eyed one, and a worry for you. My guess, you are all planning to take this country over. You need a patsy to sit on the throne. And he hiccups kind of really loudly and goes, "And you're hoping that the drunk, compliant guy who can tell everyone's intentions will just fall in line because he doesn't want to die. Really? Really? You want intelligence? Let's talk intelligence. I've seen men torn apart." What good?
Half marks, as expected from a drunk.
You
We
kind
don't
of
need
cut
you
it
to
off.
fall in line. We need you to do your damn job as leader. We just can't have a dead hole of no one leading the house. It hurts everyone's long-term interests. I think James would agree to let you lead as long as you didn't strike out against him.
Why would I serve one who serves a demon?
Kind of just raised an eyebrow. Most of the snowbeards are doing it nowadays. Seems normal.
Yeah, yeah, and with that same effect is what saw all my friends dead in front of me. Nope, I won't do it again. You can take my life if you want, but I ain't gonna serve you lot. Well, at
So
least not while you're around.
So you're gonna leave me with the, as I look at the youngest one, that one, as my only option? Really?
Ain't my problem, sweet cheeks. I'll be honest, your innocent friend there is the one was too stupid to secure himself a leadership position beforehand. Should have known who he was picking.
Here I just
I
want another.
tried to choose wisely. It's just everyone else fucking died. Fuck you, fat man.
Here I was just wanting to row and start building a druid circle, but of course you can't even be a druid. You gotta be a useless sorcerer.
He nods his head and goes, Father said the same thing. So he kept setting me on the battlefield to see how strong my magic could get until I'd die. And unfortunately for him, I got really good at surviving and better at doing magic. Unwhirling? Not technically. By title alone, I never went to school and learned the magic. I gained all my stuff in practical research. Wasn't always up, as he kind of rubs his red nose, a drunk, if you will. Used to be quite a capable young man, if you believe it or not. But, who cares? You're gonna take my life, do it. End this damn suffering I've been dealing with. And the faces I see at night.
I could have done the last thing, but you don't want to make a deal. Doesn't matter. I'll deal with the youngest. It's worst case, we could put the bastard in charge. Doesn't really matter.
He just stares at you.
I'll wait for my nephew to come get you, and then I'll talk to the youngest, I guess. So Stronghelm's being so damn stubborn.
Family trait. As he kind of leans back, seeing one of the slightly cracked bottles of what looks to be a wine of some sort, still having some of the liquid on the table, he kind of seems to lean down and starts lapping at it with his tongue as he gets a chance to.
Is it the soldier's ale?
It seems to be. As he kind of starts to drink at it. James, after a few moments as you come back walking in, looking about, you see a Syndra looking a bit more annoyed as you catch the imagery of the older individual kind of licking the table of what looks to be the wine, the spiced wine itself.
I was really hoping he would actually work with you.
Apparently, this one's so haunted by the things he sees that he'd rather die.
Okay, well, we can drop you from height. It'll be really quick then. Gag you and do it that way.
He just kind of looks up at you and shrugs.
Just take him. He's tried to flirt with me the entire time he's been here.
Ugh.
Even I have standards.
I'll lead him out, find another room that he can't easily escape from. This is gonna be fucking horrible, because I'm not placing them all in the same place. That seems like a terrible idea.
I will say the rest... Good.
At the very least, he doesn't have his casting focus, so...
It's true.
Yeah, we'll get him gagged, too, because I don't need him flirting with Drift and getting, well, probably killed at this point.
James, as you start to walk out, you see as he kind of gives a wink and seems to kind of give a kissing, or make his lips into a kissing form as he looks at Syndra, kind of as he smiles and then turns away and goes, "You'll miss my company. You'll be dreaming about me tonight. I guarantee it."
If I never met you again, it'd be too soon.
Oh, they all say that until we meet later on.
I'm gonna say it again.
And then they first go, "Too soon, I'm leaving."
As he follows James out to the door, as he looks back at you one last time, Syndra, he kind of smiles, wiggles his ass a little bit as he moves the cape aside, and you see the biggest glimmering white ass in your face as he walks out.
And so I'm left with the youngest, and the only one I didn't want to have to negotiate with.
Alright. Give me a heal check.
And it's 12 plus 11.
Find a room, stuff him in it. Maybe let him get blackout drunk again because then I don't
I'm
have to worry about him.
Keep rolling high. I'm super concerned.
Oh, all the good rolls are being wasted.
I know, right? 26. As you start to kind of tap him on the face a little bit, it seems to come to life as he looks about. His eyes kind of blinking for a few moments as he looks up at you and goes, "Mom?
No.
Oh, oh God!" Ah! And he passes out again.
I swear to God. Man,
Give me another heal check.
fucking.
Man's gonna get his neck. He's gonna
How
get
about you-
throttled while unconscious.
How about you
God
take
damn.
him, take him out of the room that is traumatizing him right now, so he doesn't pass out.
The room he got traumatized in was the other one.
This one also is pretty bad.
I don't care.
This one's cleaner.
Okay.
Cinder, kind of annoyed at the tapping not working, just kind of pulls back, pan strong, backhands us with all his her strength, and as you hear the loud clapping as you're sealing the door to room James down the hallway, you hear a sudden ball of a scream as Cinder, as you look down, he wakes up, eyes wide open, rubbing his tree, screaming in pain, goes, What the hell is that for?
You gonna stay awake this time?
Jesus Christ! What? I didn't go and cut. Wait a minute. Oh God! And he passes out.
Jesus fucking Christ. Oh my God.
Syndra's gonna kill it, man.
What would you like to do, Syndra?
Alright.
Syndra's
I don't know what-
fingers are on
I
the
don't
bridge
know
of their nose. Go ahead.
I don't have a way to look like someone else. I don't know what to do. I'm gonna
Maybe
look like a
just wait
demon.
up-
No matter what.
Maybe we should wait until he wakes up naturally.
We
Yeah,
don't have time for that.
the first time I found him, he was awake naturally grumpy, and he passed out.
Oh, good news. He has not pissed himself, from what you can tell.
Hey, that's better. We're
That's-
improving.
But if this guy is this terrified, I don't think he's very useful. I'm gonna be honest.
Makes you wonder how he's a young lord, doesn't it?
Because the fucking,
James will head back to the room.
I mean, I could force him to rage if I pimp slap him enough times.
So don't do that. That sounds like a bad
Don't
idea.
fucking do that.
Alright. Yeah, James kind of heads back. After you hear the third smack, nothing kind of coming to. James, you look over and see Syndra just irritated and bright red cheeks on this young man. A piece of his beard kind of flecked off onto the ground.
How about we do it this way? I'll try talking to him with you just out of sight.
Yeah, anything to get me away from the little coward.
As James will try to wake him up after Syndra steps aside.
Give me a heal check. And Syndra, where are you stepping? Are you just going behind him, basically?
Fucking, yeah, sure.
Okay. Going around the table to stand as you
Gonna scare. He's really gonna piss when he turns around and sees you.
lightly kick
Yeah.
a finger away that's in your way as you look about. Let's see. Nice, James. James, as you kind of seeing the two bright red cheek marks or handprint marks on his face, and seeing the bits where Syndra's armor or gloves seem to have caught on his beard hair and pulled it out. Lightly tapping one of the spots, he seems to immediately jolt awake, looking at you, and goes, "Oh my God! Why is a commoner poking me?"
Call me a commoner again and you lose an arm.
He's gonna pass out, bro.
Okay. Please don't hurt. I am a strong helm. I have lots of money.
James Dreg Ironheart.
I have lots of money for the ransom. This happens every week. Just file a paper at Ruins Hold, and they'll pay
Well,
you.
your father's dead.
If you file the paperwork at Ruins Hold, I'm pretty sure someone can pay you.
I don't want a ransom. I need someone to lead the clan that won't stab me in the fucking back again.
Kind of looks at you, kind of confused,
Your
and goes,
sister, as I gesture to the empty seat beside him, and your older brother, the three of you that fucking survived coming here. Those two have been stubborn little shits. And I'm exhausted.
Uh-huh. And
So,
And so if I would make your day better if I wasn't stubborn and just did what you asked, and then you'd take the ransom.
Once your tailors.
You're going to agree to a binding contract that will keep you from stabbing me in the back, and you'll get my support so that you become the lord of the strong Helm.
Ah, there's a problem, good sir James, not a bandit. I of the Ironheart Merchant Company. Um, I can't make deals due to my blessings, curse. Depends on
The
if it'll
slutty?
kill it. Yeah, do you like slutting?
I've met one.
Is that good, bad?
I saw him. He assisted in killing a mountain giant.
Still not seeing if this is good or bad, so I'm going to assume if
I'm
you're
not
not
going
cutting...
to be against you for it.
Oh, thank God. Oh, a sensible bandit. I mean, sir,
Every time he calls me a bandit, he's going to see my hammer axe, slowly get closer to the top of the table.
looks at you, looks at it, looks at you, looks at it, looks at you again,
You know,
goes...
you're looking like a
I
bandit
will
right now by
cut
doing
off
that.
a finger if you do it again. I'm usually a very kind person. I'm just tired of people stabbing me or beating me with a fucking hammer.
If it makes you feel any better, I would never smack you with a hammer. I can't even wield a hammer, actually. My
No, you
family...
have magic that I have to worry about, which puts me even more on edge.
Well, technically, see, it's the funny thing. I don't have magic unless I'm in one of those, like, rages, and I just spew it off like I'm possessed. Normally, how do I put it? My family called me a disappointment until I awokened with powers, is the easiest way to put it.
And your powers are what got you named as the successor.
I kinda scared and almost killed my father, yeah. And after that, he kinda rewarded me, they calling me brave and strong, and God, he couldn't have gotten that mark more wrong if he tried. As he kinda like nervously laughs at himself, kinda leaving a light smile.
I'm just gonna give him a kind smile. I don't intend to call you anything other than hopefully helpful in this situation.
Uh-huh.
I am tired of bloodshed. I am tired of people being idiots.
Okay. And you want me to fix that by not...
Taking over your clan,
Uh-huh.
and you will lead it very carefully and not step on my toes.
Yeah, not happening. Like, it's nothing, like, I'm not saying that you're not plenty scary and that I totally would not do it. I'm saying this as I am not fighting my 3 older siblings. Especially because Magriel is back in town. And he's hanging out in Rune's Hold right now. She. No, he. Yes, he.
Well, would he be against the actions your father took of trying to assassinate me when we had a peaceful deal going?
His only interest was, after making himself well and notable on the battlefield to, whenever there wasn't war, to be able to be on vacation.
I can provide him that and get him away from there.
Well, then, him, yes, but the other two, well, Brella is not called the Ice-Blooded for no reason, and my older brother, Radger, was technically the expected, heir to the family.
Tell me about them. Would they be willing to stab me in the back?
Well, Radger hates the House of Idjin, although I don't know what that means. He just has it written everywhere. He has a whole knightly order actually dedicated to eradicating demons that are supposedly of ice magic. We keep trying to explain, ice demons don't exist anymore. You know this, they were hunted down. Our people killed them like a generation ago.
I look back behind him, just staring straight into like a 1,000-yard stare.
Cinder. Good. Good, James.
Anyways, continue.
He kind of looks up and goes, and Brella, she and my father didn't get along at all, like cats and dogs, those two. Her and him had a spout. She kind of froze one of his fingers off. Um, then she froze, well, something else off that he couldn't grow back. And then she was banished to her own mountain, from what I know. Now she just lives there with her own family. They're still one of us, but barely in name.
So really, your only competition would be your elder brother, Radgan.
Radger?
Radgar,
Yes,
sorry.
but he's known as the Last Shield, and he was believed to be. He was Odger's training partner.
Uh,
I
would
say,
he be
hmm
would he be as dishonorable as your father in trying to, agree to peace and then take my head off?
he follows a code. He just doesn't make deals with demon worshippers. Actually, it's weird. Radger and Odger were the best of friends until about 2, 3 years ago, roughly. Big Spat came over, or some new guy being brought on. The soldier that was brought in, the one with the spider sigil. He once he got brought into the house as a master at arms, basically. Radger stopped showing up and refused to show up for training matches. Didn't refuse to be part of anything. My guess is he's got an army waiting to take the city as soon as our father left. To be honest,
So he might be appreciative that your father's out of the picture.
in a way, he'd still probably kill the man who did it.
Ah, well, what if that man were a Morin?
Well, it's not what I've been hearing. All I've heard is that, according to what that World Travelers Report guy was whispering about, something along the lines of, you were the cause of it.
I wish I were. I truly do, because that would mean I have the power to mess with time and blink in and out of existence. But I don't.
Give me a diplomacy check. $24. Okay. As you say this, he kind of looks up and down and goes, I mean, I'm not the one you have to convince. Radger's got some ability to see the truth. So,
Well, then this should be fairly easy. I'll be returning you and your siblings. Well, I might not. It depends on some factors, because I'd really rather not have your sister hunting me down for her oath anytime soon.
oh, he looks up at
Because
you and
as I
goes,
said, I'm tired of people trying to kill me.
he nods and he goes, I can understand that.
And for you, if you ever need an opportunity, you are welcome to call upon me, and I may have a job for you.
Sure, yeah, why not?
Now look behind you.
Why?
Are you gonna pass out a fourth time?
His whole body like stiffens and the color goes out of his face as he slowly looks back. As he makes eye contact with Syndra, he immediately goes limp and goes unconscious.
Perfect, as I'm going to carry him to a cell.
I am not a damn device to knock him out.
I'm sorry, but I didn't want to hear him babbling.
As James picks up, Bride picks up and carries this individual
Oh no,
out.
he's getting thrown over the shoulder at this point.
There.
I am very exhausted of people. I'm not being as gentle as James is not being as gentle as he would be.
As James tosses him over his shoulder and takes him, heads off into the last of the towers, heading over and putting him in there, locking the door and heading out. Around this point, you see as Syndra kind of comes out, joining you in the courtyard. Rollman seems to come up with what looks to be three other officers, what looks to be three wheelbarrows full of swords, many of them a mix of bronze and iron. As you see them kind of collected together, the two young clan lords, seemingly kind of following alongside, or clan members as they follow alongside. Abba Jr. and the third son of the Mithro Bones. As they kind of follow in, they look about, and Abba Jr. kind of steps forward immediately as he kind of looks to Rollman, sees a couple of the officers following up behind with a few more wheelbarrows coming up the bridge. And Abba Jr. looks over at you, James, and goes, "As proof of collection, these are all the weapons we'll be taking with us to sell. If there is any needs or anything else you need of us, please do not hesitate. Your man Rolliman here is a pleasant conversationalist, was kind to the men, and they seem to enjoy his company. I do appreciate the assistance with harvesting all the weapons."
Rollman is an asset, and I enjoy having him around as well. So it will be a pleasure to work with the Largerette clan, hopefully in the future. Same goes for the Mithril clan.
They both kind of nod. And as Abba Jr. kind of smiles, the officers kind of nod, kind of sing this, turning back around with the wheelbarrows and heading back down the hill. What looks like a couple of airships in the distance, even in the night sky, seem to glimmer and are coming from the city of Runeshold. From what you can say, two of them, to be exact, look to be quite large. Both of them clearly having a banner that, even from this distance, isn't hard to tell from the shape of it to be a helmet. Though what helmet is another question altogether. As those two,
I swear to God.
yeah.
I don't want to deal with the siblings yet. Fuck this.
No, as the two head down towards the assault of the army, Rollman kind of seems to whistle, and about 250 soldiers kind of come marching up the bridge and through the gates. Many of them still armed. Their armor simple, much of it being a mix of leather and simple bronze. But most of them, as you note, are scarred and look to be capable soldiers amongst a lot. As Rollman looks to you.
These are the ones
I'm
with the
not, and then
most
I'm gonna go
potential.
look for what, Roland?
These are the ones with most potential, and are willing to join.
I'll nod. We'll see if we can split them up between the crews that lost people. Either that or Odger Jr. just got himself a new crew entirely.
As James looks on exhaustedly, the warriors kind of looking at Roman, seeing the poor state of the stronghold. One of the younger officers that had been signed on, the only officer amongst this crew that had been signed on, seems to immediately step forward, looking at the men in line, and seems to give a command as they start to get to work. And you hear the dwarven commands for fortify as the soldiers start to go to work. Finding ladders, wood, and stone to kind of start constructing and working on.
Be careful going into any of the locked rooms or the, cell that's downstairs. Do not enter them without Rollman, myself, or Syndra.
The young
As
officer
I will
kind of
tell that to
nods.
everyone.
Yeah, as you say that, kind of shout that out loud, you see as the young officer kind of waits until you finish and then shouts a more official order out loud. And you see the men kind of hop to, seemingly almost saluting as they do, and go back to their business.
James is gonna nod at him appreciatively.
I just frowned. It's Syndra now, not Cinder. This is the first time that Roman's heard the Syndra name, by the way. He's been calling them Cinder for a while.
10 times to this point.
Well, I didn't hear it until now.
Roland has not been paying attention. James is just gonna look at him and nod. They decided a name change was pertinent with their new form.
Fair enough. So you talked with the three siblings?
They're all worthless.
Oh.
Literally.
None of them will
First,
cooperate?
the daughter would rather die, something about an oath of fighting to the death, and no dishonor. The second, both didn't want the job and would rather die. Oh,
A rare rock flies by.
No, that was the cow.
The cow
God
changed.
The cow's been motorized.
The cow is transforming and is taking off. Yeah, don't mind that.
Yep. Anyway, the second would rather die to end the horrible things he's seen, something about being haunted. The third can't even use magic when he's not in a rage, and is terrified of his other siblings.
Okay, is there anyone beyond these three that we can use?
I looked at Jim.
We might be able to make a deal with Radgar, I do believe his name was.
Correct.
Yeah, the one that'll want me dead.
That's the only folly there. Or the ice-blooded, I forget her name.
Brella.
Brella. Thank you. Brella, but she's been exiled to a mountain. Although we could also try to get the eldest onto our side, or the most official. As just looks, thinks for a moment and scrolls
I think
back
it's
up.
important. You should probably tell Roland the most important part of what the youngest said, that the eldest has probably already had an army to take the city the moment Odger marched out.
Yeah,
that sounds kind of important.
Radger may have had a army ready to take the
Wrong.
city already.
Runehold's probably already taken over.
Yes, but Magril is also in the territories, and we might be able to get him to be on our side as well.
Yes, but if he controls Runehold already, I can't go there. They'll kill me.
You might be able to stay on the ship.
I'd have to.
Yeah, this Radgar fellow sounds intelligent. He might be served well as the new head, as long as we get good relationship.
As long as we can get him to agree not to stab us in the back, I could care less right now.
Give me a knowledge.
I go for that.
As Roman says that, give me a knowledge nobility for all three of you. Given the Civil War, the Red Snow War was a really big war. We'll see what you guys know of this.
I do
Magro.
person instead.
Oh yeah, I'll take it. It'll give you a bit different information if you're cool with that, Roman.
That's fine.
Okay.
Oh fuck.
Well, doesn't matter when you roll 6.
17, thank you.
I am just convinced that James has never read a single thing on a clan that's fine.
No, James claimed to have paid attention in history class and have passed it from his tutor, but what you remember as a young man, Syndra, is James never actually went to those classes. He always stuck Eider in them, as Eider always rolls a crit on his fucking nobility checks.
I'm much younger than Eider, so no, I paid him off. Bribe.
Well, it's a joke of you stick your younger brother, basically, in this case your younger cousin, into the office, because you guys look enough alike.
He's older than me.
Oh, older cousin, as you two look enough alike. Plus, he can pass it easily, you know?
Yeah, he already knows all this stuff.
But no, as James, you don't really recall much. Your tutor tried to explain it, but nobility was never an interest, as you never had to care for politics, being one who wanted to know more about the common man, know how to read, write, the much more unique capabilities amongst the nobility, which was a rare talent, which came at sacrifices such as knowing famous nobles, or really any nobles. However, as you roll this, you do recall Magril being mentioned in the Red Snow Civil War alongside the heroes known as Big and Narrow from the siege of Hemescus Port, or Strongport, sorry. As you think back on it, kind of thinking about it, there's nothing else that really comes to mind other than that they played a major factor in that battle, and having fought alongside a few heroes that were basically knighted by the king himself. Rolaman, for your self-only profession mercenary, the only thing you're familiar with is that Magril has never been defeated in battle. He is a general who specialized in in siege warfare. Specifically, was known for maintaining his men no matter what. That meant long sieges, feeding them, taking care of the citizenry. He is the best siege general you can have when you've been cornered. Otherwise, there's not much else that you can recall about him, having never served under him. He is, again, famous, and even during the Civil War and during the Siege of Strongport, he was known for losing very minimal casualties compared to what everyone was expecting. Syndra. With 17, Magril Stronghelm, he is a well-known, lawful citizen. And I mean, they were, from your knowledge, a sickeningly willing individual to follow the law as needed. However, the law of the army was what their general life goal and belief was, meaning they did not have Magro does not have a problem in killing or cutting down anyone in his path that's against him. But he believes in the true sense of nobility, treats all with respect. Basically, all in all, he is the perfect general, a kind, a good man. He is what Julius Caesar was believed to be, basically. Though we know he actually wasn't. So, in this case, Magriel actually lives up to it. He is a known individual about to have descended from hill giants. He's about 5'10" and a little bit on the larger side. And he is known as having a second in command that was also quite famous, as well as a small order of paladins that served under him on that road blazed Hail Griffins. An elite force that served the Strong Helms and has served the Strong Helms in almost every battle. Beyond that, there isn't much else you can recall about him, other than, of course, the stuff that, of course, James would have gotten.
So, with his thing on vacations, though, whenever there's not a battle, be on vacation, in Syndra's mind, is there any way that they would take up the throne? Because it doesn't seem like...
This place, I mean, Stronghelm has a beach.
What is interesting, you know what, something that Roman was thinking about when he did his thing was, with this Rogan potentially sieging the capital, and I assume you would have told him that Magriel was seen in that city.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be very humorous if, once again, he is in the town, in a city that's about to get sieged and has to put something together.
If we show up another siege warfare...
You see a sighing a general sitting up there like, this is child's play, but it's annoying because I can't win now and leave. But no, I will say, yeah, Magriel is basically, in a sense, for what you can gather on these names, Syndra, Magriel is the ultimate defense. Radger is the strongest offense. And Brella is basically the independent, black sheep of the family, if you will.
2 marshals and a black sheep caster.
Yep.
Magriel would not be a good leader of the house. He's just a very good tool, is what Roman would say.
So what? We're going to need to get both Brella and Magriel to work together to deal with the third?
I don't think we need the sister. If we can just get on the other brother's good side and put him on the throne, I think it'd be okay. He didn't like Odegar because he made a deal with the demon, probably.
I blink. I look down at myself. I look back at Roll.
We'll just not introduce you. That's fine.
Uh-huh.
James, what do you think?
Dealing with Radger is going to be hard due to Syndra's current state.
Oh, no, it won't. I'm just not going to go within 10 miles of the city.
Yeah.
I'll go do something else.
But and the other issue is, if I've asked if he can truly detect lies, and he decides to ask a very, very pointed question of, do I work for or with demons? Answering no is going to be a little hard.
Take me off the paperwork the day you get there. Put me back on later.
I could also be the one that interacts with him. I made no deals with demons myself.
Quick, Roman, wisdom check. No, not really.
Well, back when I was 5 years old.
We all knew where his oath. We know where his oath actually came from. His wife swore off magic. It's because he gained demon powers.
Yes.
but he might be the best option out of them. And with what we have, we can approach peacefully and inform him that Chikix is responsible.
I mean, if you two want to go talk to him, make the trip over there. I have a.
Well, we have to return as I gesture to the keep. We have to at least return the 3 children.
They've all seen me. And you want to return them to the guy who hates me.
Well, that's fair.
I'm just saying.
We'll have to figure out what to do with them.
Well, the sister wished for death, correct?
Yes.
All but the youngest did.
Yeah. 2 out of 3 want to die.
Sure, just give it to them. Then we can do something with the youngest. I don't care.
Then we just have to figure out the youngest. I can look after the youngest while you go and do your meeting.
Sure. Where'd you leave the sister? I'll go deal with them.
They're down in where the axe was. So I gesture to it on my side at this point, since I don't have a bag of holding and stuff.
Locally.
You know,
I'll go do that.
Okay.
It'll be cathartic for me to deal with the naked one.
Sindra heads off in the opposite direction, leaving James in the courtyard. Good.
Fuck it. They'll do what they want.
I'll make it quick.
James sighs.
I was gonna say make it clean. I don't care about quick.
Hopefully clean.
Looking around for his airship and looking for his captain's quarters, as the day has been long and James is tired of it.
Hey, you had
James
that room. You could go back
bullshit.
Yep. As James kind of gives a whistle. One of the dwarves on the tower begins to move a bunch of flags that start to light up, and the airship begins to descend down from the mountain. As it does, letting it down its pulley system. The rough blood's kind of at the top, looking down as it comes to kind of an elevator towards stopping a few feet in front of James, kind of wobbly in sort.
James walking on.
As you do, James, you kind of step on it, feel your wobble a bit. Give me a quick balance check.
Oh no!
I fucking hate you.
Don't worry, you won't fall off. This thing's magically set up for that. It's just whether you're riding on your ass or on your feet.
Don't worry.
I just choose to sit down?
You can choose to just accept sitting down.
I'm just gonna sit down. James is tired.
I'm keeping a tally of failed balance checks.
James, just
fine.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
He's got it. He can't fail again.
It's a -4.
Well, yeah, because I was saying, man's not taking his armor off, not in this situation.
I've been hit too many times. Fuck everybody.
As James goes to kind of stand on it, feels himself wobbling about, and immediately finds himself falling down onto his butt, and he kind of looks about and goes, kind of focusing as he straightens himself out and looks about everyone, kind of making it look like he totally meant to do that as he just crosses his legs and stares for anyone to challenge otherwise.
Looks like you're meditating.
I will throw them from the skybox.
What? This is Minecraft? What the fuck?
I don't care anymore.
James is really digging that hole. As the rough bloods begin to wind and pull the pulley system up, James, it's clunky, but after a few awkward moments of feeling the thing kind of jerkily pull you up, you find yourself brought onto the ship as it pulls over and lets down. As the 2 rough bloods look at you, Crack kind of smiling as he looks about and goes, Hey, Captain. Don't worry, Sindra removed the cat from your chambers.
James is just going to blink. I'm going to bed.
Welcome.
Thank you, Crack.
Oh,
Thank you for the update.
Captain, the catfish they will not tell us anything. Has given me something to give you. He kind of picks up from what looks to be a little bit of a wooden tray on the ground next to him, where you can see some cards laid out and see that they were playing Go Fish. as they seem to kind of have these skin fish cards with the random numbers on it, and each one seems to have the unfortunate son's insignia kind of marked on there as a watermark. As he pulls up a glass, though, that seems to be slightly steaming, he goes, some tea, he called it. He said it was a specialty of his homeland. To try this and it'll help you sleep.
I'll drink it once I'm in bed as I'll take the cup.
He nods, kind of like with the basically expecting that, and goes, "Okay, good luck, Captain. We'll hang out here and wait until the other two come on board, and then we'll go back to our spot."
That sounds perfectly fine.
Good night, Captain.
Good night, Crack. Be careful.
He smiles as he waves you off as you head down below, seeing the couple of the frost giants who look wary and looking out through the windows down at the stronghold, and kind of watching. A few of them tired, weak, exhausted from the whole situation. Catfish completely knocked out, unconscious as he lays about. As you kind of head past and head into your room, as Hammer and Forge are still working at it. Are you going into your personal room, or are you going to the captain's quarters to sleep?
I'll be going to my personal room. Hammer and Forge can keep working. I don't think they're gonna stab me. I really don't think they can stab me. They're lawful.
No. As you climb into your stone block bed with the thick goose feathered and mule skin fluffed blanket and pillows, you kind of find yourself almost falling asleep to the rhythmic sound of Hammer and Forge as they continue working away at smithing something, finding yourself quite quickly drifting off in the night. Never getting a chance, unfortunately, to taste the tea as it sits on your the stool next to you.
Good, I was worried it was fucking poisoned.
You'll never know. As we jump away from you well, let's start with Rollman, since he came up with the idea first. Rollman, as you kind of accepting that you're going to go down and see the young lady, walking away as you see James and Syndra still talking for a moment, you head towards the back tower, heading down these stairs towards the tomb, if you will, and the sewer pipe that you guys had cracked it to get in. Seeing the two guards standing there, both of them with the Heart of the Sea emblem kind of emblazoned onto their chest as they look at you. A kind of rough wooden metal conglomeration of a door kind of slams shut to block the hole for the tomb, as they both look at you.
Give him a nod, and I'll say, open it.
One of them kind of immediately hops to as he opens the door, and you see inside the young lady sitting there on her knees, kind of staring up, looking up at the ceiling, almost in contemplation as she looks over at you as you walk in, kind of surprise on her eyes or in her face, and goes, so James did not have the willingness to do it, and the Syndra woman would not do it herself. Should I consider this a kindness, or are you here to torture me?
I wouldn't do that, no. Is this truly your will?
The strong helms stand by their word. We lost, and there is no dishonor in losing as long as you stand by your beliefs. I swore an oath, and I will die by my oath.
I respect that.
She kind of leans her head forward, kind of wiggling her shoulders a little bit, and her hair kind of moves away from her neck as she does that.
Is here fine? I thought I recalled that James told me you'd rather face the sun.
I don't care at this point, and the sun is many hours until it'll be up. Here's fine. Bury me where I can see the sky. Burn me where I can see the sky. Whatever works. Just don't put me underground.
So be it. I will take out my sword and cut off their head.
Alright. Give me a d20 just to see. And we'll add your base attack bonus. We'll call it like a normal. Actually, we'll just call this a normal attack so you can stack any bonuses you want onto it, but we'll see how clean the cut is for it.
Okay. $31.
31. Almost as pretty as a picture, a swift, clean cut goes right through as your blade comes down. She doesn't even seem to register it before her head drops, the body going limp, and the sound almost absolutely quiet except for the light bumping from when her head hit the ground and when her body slumped to it. The men seem to kind of look on in shock and awe as they watch you for a moment as you put away your blade, wiping the blood off as you do so.
Yeah.
Alright. And Roman, is there where you want to head after that?
I'll just take their body and make sure it's buried where they wanted it.
No,
Or burned.
put it with the other bodies, please.
Yes. I assume those are being burned outside, right? Or buried outside?
All the nobles are being burned still. Their bodies are just not being set as a pile. They're being burned individually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, as you pick up her head and kind of pick up the body, I assume you have enough strength to carry 200 pounds.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. As you head through the doorway, the two soldiers kind of look at you, nod as they close the door behind you to the tomb. As you start heading up the stairs, going to drop the head off or the body off in the pile, kind of following along with some of the men as they continue working away. As you watch this, Roland, are you going to eventually retire to the ship, or are you just kind of help the men or watch the men kind of burn the nobles?
I will stay and watch, make sure that the ones I got are still working fine, and yeah, I'll watch the burning and stuff.
Okay. As you kind of stand in deep contemplation, kind of just staring and watching this happen, the rhythmicness of the men kind of coming in, grabbing a body, and like slowly slugging it out towards the pits of fire that they've set up. Taking them to a corner where a couple of pieces of wood have been kind of chopped down and set aside, and setting the body ablaze as you watch, reflecting on not only the fight, the near-death experience, all of what's been going on as you continue watching this, kind of planning and thinking about your next move, what you want to do, and how you want to deal with everything that happened. As we jump over to Syndra. Syndra, as you see Roman head into the tower and leaving James in the courtyard, as he kind of gives a last comment to you as you respond back and then head within, heading towards one of the inner towers where James had locked the individual away. As you greet the guards and have them open the door immediately, you see the drunken individual completely unchained, which you didn't remove his chains. Somehow, a cask of what looks like wine kind of set to the side of the room and uncorked, and he seems to be completely enjoying himself. He is also fully clothed, as he looks to be wearing a shirt and pants now, looking about.
That's a miracle. All right. Any last words?
He looks up at you, kind of with a loud hiccup and bright red cheeks and a bright red nose, goes, "Yes. I know who wants to kill James. In the new-found revolution lands of those weird, scaly bastards. And you're never going to believe it. Because it's an old friend of yours, I imagine." As he kind of like smiles and takes another drink and kind of looks up at you and goes, "That Black Hand has said that if they can get their hand on James, they can get the bounty on Eider. And that is my last... Wait, no, I've got better last words. There once was a farmer." Alright, you can kill me now.
The moment he says you can, I click my fingers and a flame strike envelops his entire body.
Give me a d20 plus your caster modifier. Your casting
Oh my god.
modifier.
Immolated this man.
He is so alcoholic. He is so fucking. His blood alcohol content. He's going to burn like a fucking candle.
25.
25. As you light a small fire, expecting it to kind of emblazon from the alcohol, He bursts into flame as he smiles and laughs through the flame and pain. And as he does this, kind of looks, seems to stare at you, almost bright-eyed, his eyes seemingly glimmering in through the fire as he glows. His last words in primitive and dwarvish as a mixture seem to be, "Let the icy crown melt when the spiders rise and the stars fall apart, for the suns will choose who stands at the end." As his body collapses under its the fiery weight, and
God
he
damn it,
expires.
he had more information.
You would be a fucking little spider worshiper kissing their feet, wouldn't you?
Cinder says, looking down in disdain at the corpse that's inflamed.
Well, I mean, Syndra has nothing else to do. Man's just has nothing to confiscate before or after, because he only had his wand, from my understanding.
Yeah, as you look at the from what you saw of the clothes, it looks like he grabbed from the armoire in this tower. It just looked like some of the whoever was staying here.
Yeah, doesn't really matter.
Yeah. As you watch it kind of burn for a few moments longer, is there anything else you'd like to do?
No, that's that. I'll walk back out and I'll head back to the ship.
All right. As you head out, heading out into the courtyard, you see as the ship kind of seems to be hovering overhead. As you kind of give a whistle up, the pulley system elevator coming down. You see Roloman over to the side, kind of watching as the last of the nobles are kind of being burnt away. As you look on, seeing what looks to be in total at this point somewhere like 40 bodies having been crisped, as Roman watches the last one, seemingly more fascinated as you watch the figure looking to be a female Snowbeard, estimating it to be the young lady.
Well, obviously Syndra won't say it, but I saved them some time.
That's true.
Cinder kind of gets onto the pulley, pulling themselves up. Cinder, give me a balance check.
You could have
Let's
balanced.
see how Sidra does. They gonna fall on their ass?
I at least don't have a negative to the check.
Oh no.
So I physically can't roll lower than James did.
Well, that's good.
Hey,
I could have rolled lower, guys, please.
I don't
No,
really.
You could roll
could've,
one
that's
lower.
really
You could have
sad.
rolled one lower.
14.
Acceptable.
You manage to keep your feet as you feel the jerkiness of the pull. You kind of pull you up, kind of catching yourself as you do. The thing pulls you all the way up and then turns as the young Karak looks up at you, one of his younger brothers off to his side, as he smiles and goes, "Ah, Syndra! Hey, James is. Don't worry, the real James is down below. He accepted the catfish's tea, and then went to bed."
That's good. I'll kind of step off the pulley.
We're just waiting for Commander Roloman to finish up down below, and then we will go back to our position and retire for the evening.
Understood. Keep up the good work. Because I'll start wandering off.
He
I
nods.
should probably proceed to just stay down here for the rest of the night.
Right. Syndra, where are you heading in the ship, out of curiosity?
Fucking going to my room.
Clear. Alright, as you head down, seeing the men kind of who are
There's
mostly
new
at
things
this
to
point.
put on the cork board.
Yeah, as you see some of the men kind of passed out, many of them kind of look, the few that are awake, kind of looking out into the army, the vast army, still set out in the outskirts of the town as it's nightfall, kind of watching them with nervous looks. Passing through, you see the catfish peacefully snoring on his bunk. His kitchen completely glimmering from being cleaned. A large teapot kind of slightly... you can hear the sounds of it boiling, but not yet whistling, thankfully, as you pass by, seeing James's door shut for the first time and recognizing this means he's asleep. As you head to the room past it, seeing your door as you open it up, seeing the beautiful frozen mountain as you walk in and retire for the evening, finding your corkboard and adding a few things, yes?
I do add one very important thing to corkboard because of that meeting with the guy. There's a white string, which is not a color I've used yet, connected to the center of the board into a picture of a dwarf. And it says, and it's basically the idea of connected to more, because that guy was level 8. but he knew a lot more than he should have.
Mhm.
So I'm assuming other level dwarves probably also know things.
As Cinder kind of puts the imagery of this dwarf up, puts the white string, and then puts a note underneath it of "Nobles know things," and leaves it there. Kind of a little couple of what looks to be sticky notes off to the side of the different nobles that have spoken about
That's
things
where all
now.
my glue went.
Mine now.
Oh no, he used sovereign glue.
As Sindrak begins to kind of spend the night meditating and looking at this thing as they slowly drift off, watching and contemplating, as they look
They
at all
don't
the
sleep
strings.
anymore, though.
Sindra, is there anything else before I pop over to Rolliman?
No, I'm good.
Perfect. Rolliman, as you see the ship kind of coming over, hear the sounds of the pulley going up and down twice, though your eyes still kind of focused more on the dead being burned, watching the men go about their work, kind of thinking about everything as you are. What would you like to do? It is around roughly midnight at this point.
I'll just make sure that all patrols are set up and no funny business, and then I'm heading up. I'm going to bed.
After a few moments of going and finding that young officer that you had seen earlier that had taken command quite quickly, kind of relaying the orders, he seems to be almost immediate, and as you kind of smile, seeing a younger version of yourself in him, he seems to almost get to it, getting the soldiers going to patrol. He hands, by the time you get over to the pulley system, he comes back with what looks to be a schedule of the patrols and where they'll be at, giving you a copy of it for the night as he goes
I'll
back
look
to.
over it as the pulley comes down.
As you look it down and up, it looks like he is planning to put patrols all around the mountain, not just within the stronghold and along the sewer pipes, as well as keeping an active 2 patrols at the front gate and the sewers until the enemy army is gone.
Ambitious and thorough.
He seems to not, as you look about, he does not seem interested. He also has Cal put on question marks on there and for the men to be on
He's
lookout.
noticed it too.
He seemed to. As
Find that cow!
as you kind of climb onto the pulley system, give me a balance check, Rollman.
All right.
It's only fair to James.
Yep.
Please.
What do you want me to?
What you want him to
failed.
roll? You want him to roll
fail?
-4 like you?
Yes.
That's fucked up, man.
I'll do my best. I'll do my best to roll as low as I can.
Oh well, he rolled as low as he could.
can.
That's a 20. As you kind of manage to feel the wiggle of the thing and bracing yourself as it begins to pull, you feel the jerkiness begin to smooth out as the rough bloods pull you up. The young officer kind of saluting to you as you head up, and as he goes back to barking orders, you see as the rough bloods kind of pull you over onto the ship as they smile and look up at you and go, Commander Rolliman, Captain, Lord, Captain. Look, he looks back at his younger brother, and they both nod at each other and goes, James is down below sleeping. Sindra, Sindra looks back at his younger brother, and they both nod and goes, Sindra is also down below sleeping. Most of the crew's asleep. We're gonna turn in and put the next patrol on once you got up here and went to bed. Because the frost giants, I need 5 of them to pull this damn thing, and because they're all apparently unused to working hard lives. I don't know. It's too much to be a problem, Commander Rolliman, but that is the status update of the crew. Nervous, tired, and anxious. Our officers are sleeping, though.
All right. It should this whole ordeal should be over soon.
He nods and goes, I'm looking forward to some downtime, Commander Rolliman. I've been looking forward to seeing my sweetheart and writing her a letter once I learn how to write and read and teach her how to read.
You have someone that you fancy?
When we were back in Diamond's death, I met someone when we were towing you around. You were talking and doing some shopping, and I found a young lady that seemed to like me, and I think she can read. She liked me too, so we're gonna be sending. I've promised to send letters and see if I can visit her from time to time.
Well, if you're interested in learning your letters, I wouldn't mind teaching you.
I-
Downtime we might have.
I'd appreciate that, Commander. I got the common tongue down now well.
I can see that.
He kind of smiles at that and goes, but sleep well, Commander. We'll get the next watch on board and moving, and then we'll head to bed ourselves.
I give him a nod.
I'm really happy the Rough Bloods like us. I don't.
Why'd you say that? God damn it!
Damn it! No, Cameron! I thought I was muted. Fuck!
As Roland heads down below and heads to bed, seeing the crew kind of, some of them, a few still awake, but most now asleep, and heads towards his room to find the training room and a nice warm bed to lay in. We're going to take a quick 10-minute break as we grab food, water, and other such things. For the viewers, it'll be right away, but for us, it'll be a few minutes. So we'll see you back in a moment. Thank you all, and we'll see you then. Alright, and we return. A couple of slices of pizza down. Excitement over.
Pasta ingested.
Yes.
Bowels emptied.
Hopefully. And now we return once more. So, as the party spends the night sleeping, resting, and James's third death flag finally pops, the party finds themselves comet-striked. Not really. As the night goes on.
Wait, that's a visual spell. I cast a spell magic.
So you hope. Because a rock flying at a velocity, a speed, would still be... Oh, Roman's just down. He doesn't care.
He's gonna Zorro the rock, cut it in half.
As we return, though, the party spends the next 8 hours sleeping, relaxing, resting up, and rather catching up on their much-needed downtime, as they have had a very eventful last couple of days. Sleeping as peacefully as they can, the night goes on, and we return to the following day of the 29th, as around mid-morning breaks. As the three of you finally kind of come to, or awaken, finding yourselves kind of surprisingly sleeping in quite late into the morning. Almost one after another, each of you find yourselves opening doors, heading out, and finding yourself towards one of the tables as the catfish cooks up whatever mystery meat or meat he's purchased, cutting it to a simple grill, basically sauteing it in something, and then handing it off to you lot as he hands you the last rations of the coffee beans he has, kind of smiling as he pushes you lot, or you 3 cups of your own.
Coffee.
Feel that?
As James will sip and eat. So, what are we doing with the last one?
I'm giving a death flare to coffee. Hot drinks for the enemy.
No, it's iced coffee. It's iced coffee.
As you watch Sindra glare slowly chills and turns the coffee into an ice cube, also cooling the glass holding it, or the mug.
Excellent.
It's now a coffee pop.
It is. Cinder licks it once and stares at it.
Better.
Oh, isn't that up to you, James?
It depends. Is there anything specific you want out of him?
Well, he said he was the one that brought up we could ransom him, but given how his eldest brother seems to not wish to deal with demons, as I look to Syndra, I can't imagine that him being connected to the Slotty he's treated much better.
Well, he mentioned that he's been ransomed in the past week. It's happened more than once.
He's been ransomed every week from what he said.
I think it'd be okay if he's ransomed one more time.
But the one that paid the ransom was Senior.
That's a fair point.
He only
And
impressed
when
Senior
that
because
brought-
he went into a rage.
When that was brought up, all he said was, I'm sure someone will pay. So he didn't have a secondary plan.
Well, if we find when we go to Rune's Hold that the eldest isn't in control yet and Magral still is, we won't be able to still ransom him.
I don't
Magral decided to
really
defend
want
life.
to ransom him either. I just want people to stop stabbing me in the back.
Yeah, well,
I
that's
doubt
not going
this
to happen.
person's going
So
to
anyway.
stab you in the back. He seems very pathetic.
He is.
Kind of part of being well known. Everyone stabs you in the back. It's just part of life, and you're gonna have to accept that.
You should just get a stronger back, James.
Anyway, I'm guessing the other two went fine. Were their bodies burned? As I look to them both.
I didn't see Cinder bring their or Sandra bring the other prisoner out. What did you do with them?
I burned him myself.
Oh, all right then.
He was so filled with alcohol that it went quick. However, he said something concerning as he was burning.
Dreams
Did he
Went
say?
on about the spiders and the stars, and that the people who pick their sides will pick the better tomorrow. Something along those lines. Could have been the ramblings of a madman. He seemed to know more than he should have.
There was
No,
once a farmer.
No. Don't, we have to forget that because he would have liked if we remember that.
All I'm taking out of it is that some of the other lower power nobles around our strike maybe below might know more about the spiders and stars than they probably should.
Alright, anything else pertinent to, well,
Speaking
us
of
that I should know?
the madman comment that you made there, Sindra, there was a man among the 20 some odd thousand. Name was Regan the Brown. He was a very crazy old man, apparently to the other troops. He's been through many a combat, and I think he's some kind of prophet because they mentioned he was rambling about details pertaining to this siege, and he was startlingly close.
Wasn't his name Regis?
Regis.
Mm-hmm.
Close enough.
Yeah. DM, he's that old. Would I know anything about this guy? Because that's weird for a dwarf to be around that long.
You can give me a knowledge history check.
I would describe him as well.
Yep. The old dude with the patch leather and metalwork, the wicked-looking dagger, the strange-looking staff.
Unless I roll very high. I don't. Oh, hey. Okay.
You've never heard of this guy whatsoever. The nickname, not a very pleasant one. The brown typically means, cowardly. Translates exactly what you think. The brown pants swearers of the family, if you will. Those who run from battle out of fear. Doesn't sound familiar or like anybody of note that you recognize the name of.
Now, am I confident that if the snowbeard was that old and that crazy, I probably would have known who he was?
No. There are
No.
many mercenaries that have vanished without a name that were capable individuals. Some that believe they were capable even more than the lords that would take control of the many houses. He could be someone of of an older period. It could be someone left over. I mean, it wasn't uncommon for veterans of past campaigns to find strange loot and gain powers and such.
Well, guys, God knows where now. Nothing to do about it now.
Has the army left yet?
As you look out one of the side windows in the main or second deck, the second deck of the ship. Looking out, you do see the army's camp has, for the most part, vanished. It looks like a couple of tents are still there, but for the most part, there's less than 100 men there.
Odds are.
Looking out, do I still see those airships?
No.
Oh. Okay.
Are we going to head out? What we plan to do?
We'll prepare to. I need to make sure everyone is assigned and make sure Odger knows that he can take control of that platoon that you found, along with whoever's left of the 500, and then we need to get all the ships around to go, because we are not going to, I don't think, hold this position. Not without permission, at least.
We took it fairly. It is ours. If you want. You could have abandoned it as whatever.
What would you recommend as the better of us at military matters?
What would Roland recommend as the better the military powers?
Give me a profession mercenary check.
Alright.
Because thank you, James, for realizing how bad you were as a This is James' entire arc of why he never goes back to being a soldier or a conqueror.
20.
He tried it once in his younger years, and when he tells his nephews and nieces why you don't want to become a conqueror, he'll have a first-hand experience. 20.
You have to remember a lot of shit.
So, in this situation, as you think on it, the stronghold's yours. By all rights, no one's going to challenge you for it, but if there is a battle going on and you go down to Rune's Hold and pick wrong, this stronghold's going to be left isolated and alone to be attacked. Whoever you're putting in charge will have to wait till they get information from you. You could hold the keep, but, I mean, given the current position and what the nobility that's been slain, James could walk in and claim Rune's Hold just as easily for himself. So in this, to that point, Rolman, I would say that both keeping the stronghold has its risks of watching whoever's left behind killed, but it also could be a good foothold if you decide you want to take Rune's Hold, or a good fallback point if you plan to stay in the area.
Are we sticking around for a while, James, or are we just moving to Rune's Hold and there to beyond?
I don't intend to stay, or once all this matters are settled here, I'm not very likely to continue to come back, unless I absolutely need to. So, owning property here isn't exactly a forethought.
Yeah, I'd say we'll pull out then. Take all the men out.
Okay.
We'll have to get the other ships moving then.
As you mention this, one of the rough bloods kind of hearing this seems to kind of perk up, bumping Crack. Crack kind of comes walking over and goes, Captain James, or Lord James. He bows again.
You can just call me James, Crack. You've been around long enough.
Sounds wrong, Captain.
Captain works too, then.
Alright. I must ask, would you like us to send off the signal for the other airships to join us? Nar-in-law had sent us a message telling us that he had met up with the other airships and was waiting with them to meet with us in case anything went bad. So, we can...
Slow blink. Yes, that'd be great.
Alright, will do, Captain, as he kind of nods and gives a thumbs up to the two younger brothers.
I'm going to go down and get the hammer that was guarded by the ice crocodile.
That, as you realize, Syndra lost concentration of a while ago, probably.
Also, summons don't last very long, dude.
Nope.
No, I'm doubting anyone grabbed it because it looks really fucking weird.
Oh, it's also wrapped up in, like, wool cloth, basically.
Yeah. So.
But as James kind of gets himself, stands up from the table, taking his coffee with him, begins to head up the stairs and towards the police system. Rollman and Syndra, are the two of you following after James, or are you planning something else?
I'm gonna go start gathering people to organize the departure.
Okay. Got you. Syndra?
I've got an item to go claim. I was told I could keep one of the glaives.
Okay. Alright, as the three of you kind of head up together onto the elevator or pulley system, as the two younger cracks kind of come over and start helping you down. All three of you give me a balance check as it heads out over the side. As you see Karat kind of pull and crack something that Uga Chunga kind of hands him, and as he does so, it shoots up a big burst of a firebolt into the air that glitters and explodes.
I rolled higher than Syndra.
Nice! Congrats!
Oh, Syndra, you get to flood your ass.
Syndra and James are both knocked on their butts. Unfortunately, Rollman manages to maintain standing without issue. As the
I
thing
You
can't
guys
even
fine.
take
down,
10 on this because if I do,
you'll still
I'm still
fail.
gonna fall on my ass.
Yep. As you three head out, Syndra and James sitting while Roman stands over them as the elevator goes out and down
Just
the. Oh, go
raise my
ahead.
I'm going
eyebrow.
to make another platform that just has seats.
Go ahead, Roman.
I just raised my eyebrow at the two of them.
As the fling hits
Shut
the
up, long
ground.
legs.
James saying this as it taps the ground as the three of you kind of get off of it. It immediately pulls back up as you look up and see, or rather can hear even from here, the sounds of the airships coming in this direction, or coming towards this direction. Um, as the three of you begin to split up, Rollman begins to head over, finding the men. James immediately recovering from his annoyance at and staring at the pulley system going up. Uh, he's gonna head towards the long hall and see if he can find his forgotten hammer. And Sindra, as you head to go and find one of the glaives that had been locked away in the towers. Um, as we'll split up, we're going to start with the least complex one, Rolliman. As
Yes.
you head over towards what looks to be the young officer who's taken full control of the fortress and the forces here. He looks back at you as you walk over, kind of smiling, and looks up and goes, "Nice, good to meet you, Rolliman. I do apologize. I have not been able to give my name. Most of the men call me Sir Glimmerrock. On the stat of my father's was a noble once, lesser clan that got wiped out a while back. First name doesn't matter. I got shot off a long time ago, as I like to call a joke about it when the wife took it from me. The men are prepared, ready to move out. I myself, to introduce myself, served 2 years with the men. Been through 2 sieges, including this one. And while I may not be the most capable, I do appreciate you recognizing my talent amongst the men. I was rounded up for my father's ability to lead before he lost his leg. Most of the men, though, seem to like you and have spoken well of you, so I think I made the right choice in that matter. As he holds his hand out to you.
I shake it. You got potential, Glimmerrock.
Thank you, good
Sir
sir.
Glimmerrock.
Thank you. So, what can I help you with? The men are in order. We did not find that damn cow. I did look. I had the entire mountain scoured all night, but the patrols found nothing, and the enemy army seemed to peter off throughout the night. There's a bit of a scuffle that seemed to go on, but the ranks seemed to deal with themselves. Young men left a individual behind, but we took him down and burned his body. I don't think it was anybody of importance.
All right. Must have been some sort of case of mass hysteria then regarding the cow.
I believe one of the more experienced officers decided to voice his opinion, and I think the pay the other officers got was a little bit more, and I think that's what probably come down of it, sir. The large rats have a tendency not to pay their debts to everyone, and instead only pay a large amount of their debt to one person to make the others fight amongst themselves. It's a common strategy for them to keep officers hungry.
I see. All right. Well, I was coming over to ask you to get everyone organized for leading, but it seems you've already done that, so thank you.
He nods.
Other than that, that's all I came over for. We'll be leading soon.
I will make sure the men are ready and fed and prepared to move out and split amongst the ships. The men we brought on, I guess, surrenderers, we can call them. Most of them are young, not very seasoned in campaigning. We'll have to do a good bit of work with them before they'll be ready. Some of them have never even killed a man. So, I must warn, if we're looking to take the city of Runeshold, I may be able to do it, but we will need some time to get the men prepared and a bit more salted.
All right. That's good to know. Let's hope it doesn't have to come to taking it forcefully, but if it does, we'll definitely make sure everyone's prepared.
He kind of nods and bows and looks at you and goes, if you need anything else, Commander Rolman, I will be available. Right now we are just going to continue fortifying this place while the men get themselves ready to move out. No no reason to have laying about among the men. It keeps them busy, keeps their minds at ease.
Of course.
As he kind of bows again once to you and heads back to the men, starting to bark out orders. Is there anything else you'd like to do, Rollman, before I jump?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I guess I can help with some of those greener ones. I can do some sparring with them.
Well, alright, give me, let's call, this is a training thing. I'll take the professional mercenary. It'll work. As you kind of gather a small group of young snowbeards from the collection, kind of seeing them not really able to do much help with a lot of heavier lifting. As you kind of gather them up, making them pull up training swords and such. Let's see what you can do. 14. Yeah, as you start teaching them and drilling into them the basics, kind of yelling at them, correcting their sword postures, taking the youngest of the group's large club that he seems to have fashioned for himself, that he keeps falling over with, and replacing it with a sword of his size.
You're not me yet.
You start giving orders, kind of smiling at the enthusiasm and drilling them. All right.
No bonk. Cut.
Syndra, the second least complicated one here.
Oh God, mine's complicated.
Yes.
Fucking damn it.
Syndra, as you head towards one of the back towers, you see Pierre kind of sitting, guarding what looks to be a door as he sits on a broken chair that's slightly leaning, and he's kind of like keeping his foot pressed up against it to lean it against the wall to hold it up, as it's missing one of the back legs. And looks over at you as you walk down the hallway. He kind of smiles and goes, "Damn, I did not know that we had a female amongst the crew. At least not a snowbeard. Let me guess. James's mother."
I take a deep breath. I exhale. He's part of the crew. I can't kill him. I'm his auntie.
Oh, shoot, I wouldn't have guessed you to be that old. Kind of looks, and goes, "Oh, I figure as far as it goes, you're not down here for nothing. So what do I have the honor of doing for someone so breathtaking as yourself?"
Do you know where the glaives are? The Chaoticum ones?
I do. I'm guarding the door to them, as Drift told me, as James told Drift.
Can you let me in to grab one, please?
No, can do. The only people allowed in here are Cinder, Rollerman, and James.
Pierre, I swear to God, just because I'm a female now does not mean I won't throw you out of the castle.
I don't know what you're talking about, Syndra. I'm sorry, I'm not allowed to let anybody by that name inside of these doors.
Where's Drift?
Currently, I'm guessing sleeping in.
I have a single spell to move without slamming him into a ceiling and killing him.
At least he's obeying orders.
Hey man, I respect it, but I swear to God.
He looks up at you and goes, "So does it look as good walking away as everyone says?" As he just gives a wry smile at you.
Pierre, even if I was interested, that sword is still as cursed as all hell. I wouldn't go anywhere near you.
Am I? He kind of looks down at in between his legs, and then looks back at you and goes, kind of closes his mouth as he contemplates and like is trying to figure out what you mean by that as he's like thinking.
Your actual sword, Pierre. The one.
Oh, I was wondering how you knew. Gee, I mean that's a guarded secret.
Both of them are cursed.
No, it's
By the way,
No,
you
it's
think
not.
James can help out? I need this thing. I found this thing in the Genasi lands. It was this burning cream, or cream that helped with burning. It really did a great wonder. Well, when we were kind of visiting one of the lands in the closing territories, I may have met with a lady of the night, and things kind of burned. You're an ice mage and all that, right? You can cure that, right?
I'll fix it if you give me one of the glaives.
Wait, seriously? Alright, as he holds his hand out. Deal.
Uh-huh. Can I roll? Is this an actual burn, or does he have an STD?
Go ahead and give me a heal check. Or a sense motive, we'll take either.
Better at heal. 3.
Remove disease.
Yeah,
He has a spell
I know, right?
I do have the spell. I've cast it many times.
It's true. It's true.
on STDs.
Oh.
It's surprisingly
on
this is not the
STDs,
first-
yes.
No, I'm
This
saying
is
he's
the
used it many
second time.
times.
Oh no.
That is true. This is the second time, huh?
It keeps coming up.
Second time.
We should really, start a clinic or something.
So
still
like a level
trying
2
to-
spell.
Literal crabs that started falling off, and that's still.
Right.
Yeah.
Alright, what you got, Syndra?
I was more worried about the man that rolled around in them afterwards.
I rolled a 30. 19 plus
30.
11.
As you kind of look over at Pierre, he kind of, as he holds his hand out, yeah, this is an STD. He picked up something, and from what you can gather, it looks to be like a version of basically herpes, but a devilish version that burns with actual fire.
Horrifying.
Mm-hmm. Does have a
I don't
chance
like
of lighting certain things on, lighting hair on fire as well when popped. Unfortunately,
He's probably pretty clean shaven down there.
I don't want to think about that.
Commons. Oh, go ahead. Remove disease. Remind me, is that Let me double check. Is it just outright?
Yeah.
It just. Yeah.
Okay, because I want to double check just to make sure there's no DC or anything. No, because this isn't a special disease. Okay. All right. As you see him, as you kind of wave your as you move your hand, a flow of ice magic seems to kind of overcome him as he feels the chill. His groin suddenly almost solidifying into an ice cube for a moment, then shattering as he looks down and looks up at you with his hand still out and goes, "Oh my God! It don't freeze no more, or it don't burn no more. Oh, I can stop shaving. Oh my God! This is the best day ever. I've been using drifts like face razors for weeks."
Pierre Firecrotch.
Oh my god, I'm keeping that knowledge. That's incredible.
Oh God, Syndra, you truly are the woman that chills a man to his bone. As he lightly turns and opens the door with a smile on his face.
I'm grabbing one of the glaives.
As you head in, seeing what the glaives kind of put up on a weapon rack in the center of the room. Nothing were anywhere close to them except for the carpet underneath as you go to grab it. Picking up one of them as you do. The blade seems to slightly glimmer as you kind of take it into your hand, but otherwise nothing seems to happen.
Well, that's all I was here for. Time to head back to the ship and study this thing for blood magic.
Oh no. Alright.
Syndra's
they have
gonna
an
get
STD?
blood magic.
Right. What was that, roll?
Does the glaive have an STD?
It does not have an STD,
I-
thankfully.
I hope not. I swear to God.
You know what? You can, if you want to make sure, you can roll me a heal check.
Does it have an
Sure.
infection of some sort? Who knows?
Sure. Let's see. This is gonna be a roll of nat 1 or a nat 20. I don't know.
Also, I assume
No.
Syndra does not have a 30 in strength.
No, but I'm not trying to wield it as a weapon. I'm just
I
trying to
figured.
like hold.
No, yeah, I got you. I was just making sure.
I win. That'd be really funny. 30 strength druid.
Yeah, right. And what was your heal check?
17.
17. And good news. It looks like the Stormforged Chaoticum Glaive is fully fine and not
Good.
disease ridden.
The guy who.
As
Excellent.
it glimmers under the light as you take it out, the blackened, charred lightning marks kind of catching the light of the fire of the torch fires as you head out. Pierre kind of closes the door and whistles at you as he looks at the weapon, appreciating the weapon itself as you head down the hallway.
Just muttering to myself, really is unwieldy. It is like carrying an oversized butter knife.
Give me a listen check, real quick, Syndra.
It's my current listen. Plus 14.
Butter knife.
I'm not going to use my buff on this. Let's just roll it.
You hear Pierre comment quietly. I always knew he could handle the big sticks.
He didn't know I was an asshole.
Guess who's telling Drift about where her razors have been?
Oh, you know I am. I'm going on a side quest.
As we pop away from Syndra, who kind of takes a detour to go speak with Drift for a quick moment. James, as you head into the long hall, looking around the room, seeing that it's been cleaned up, Melvin kind of just sitting in the room, relaxing as he seems to watch the people kind of going about their business, some mopping up the last bits of blood as they do. Yes?
Do I see the wrapped up package?
Give me a search check.
If not, I know who I'm asking. The man that doesn't sleep and always watches.
He's always watching.
16. You do not, but you do see the puddle mark where Jonathan disappeared from, turning back into the water that formed him.
Melvin, what happened to the package I had and the cloak that was guarded by that ice crocodile?
Looks up at you and goes,
Or gator?
I don't know. I was talking to... I don't know.
Okay.
Kind of looks at you
As
and goes,
James is going.
but there is a lot of magic that was over there a few moments ago. And last
do you
night.
know where it went?
No. Just kind of looks back at the ground. Good.
Melvin. Friend.
Yes? As he looks back
That
up
was
at you.
Odger's hammer.
Oh. Wish I knew that.
We told well, no, we didn't tell you guys. Really dropped the ball on that one. Fuck.
No.
Usually, though, when there's a big, bulging thing of magic somewhere, you bring it up to me and then you come tell me, or you come ask if we want to take it with us.
He looks at you and nods.
Why did you not? This once.
I just did.
So do you know where the hammer is?
No.
Can you help me find the hammer? And the cloak?
Yes.
Help me then, please.
Okay. As he just stares back at the ground. Jamie's just staring at him, ready to pull his beard out.
Not my beard, for clarification. Melvin's beard. Melvin, that's not helping.
He looks up at you and goes, what do you mean?
What are you doing? You're staring at the puddle where it was.
No, I'm staring at the rocks.
the rocks eat it?
Nope.
Do you care to elaborate on what happened?
Not really.
Could you still please?
I could.
Please do so then.
Oh, okay. So there's a magic force that came in here. I wasn't looking that direction. They disappeared.
I'm gonna try and sense. Because the hammer was big enough and I was around it long enough. Had enough fucking cursed magic on it. I'm gonna try to sense it.
Give me a spellcraft.
Make sure. Yeah.
Syndra just realized. 12. Well, good news, James. Or bad news, depending on how you take it. It's not here.
That's bad.
It's not on the stronghold.
Is there any sense of who might have taken it?
Based on, as you look about, there's no magical presence. There's nothing left behind. Looking at the where it was, looking in the ground looks normal, except for the little bit of puddle from where Jonathan was, perfectly outlined on the ground as a wet alligator puddle. The cloth that was wrapped around it of the banner also gone. As you look about that corner, the bit of blood that was around it seems to be gone. But yeah, there's no sign of what took it, who took it, nothing. No, the spellcraft does, or your spellcraft check does not pick up anything.
Melvin, do you have an idea of who might have taken it?
Yes.
We've been around a lot of... Could you tell me who?
If I had to guess, the same guy who took the dagger.
I'm going to strangle a cat.
Melvin just looks at you, kind of tilts his head, and goes, "Why?"
I'll explain it when you're older.
Okay, I'm older now.
Not old enough. I'll explain it to you in a few years.
How do you feel about the Feywilds?
Not going there.
He nods and kind of puts his head back down, looks back down at the floor.
If you find it, the hammer and cloak, let me know.
Okay. I won't. Find it, that is.
If you do.
No, I won't.
You're being very obstinate today, aren't you?
James
James
using
will walk
fancy
out.
words. Took me a minute there for that. As you head back out, James, as you head out into the long hall, you see as Roman's kind of coming down the long hall, looking around for you. The Syndra, who looks to be about to turn the corner past you, seemingly as the three of you kind of meet in the hallway. That is a charisma of 6. Thank you. I'm happy I could really act that out. As
His charisma's not even 6.
no, it's a 4.
Yeah.
So be happy you got that much. But as James, you see Rollman to your left, kind of looking down the hallway at you. Syndra to your right, what looks to be one of the glaives on their shoulder.
Syndra, we need to keep an eye out for a red cat.
I do that anyway.
Why do you
Well,
want...
he seems to have taken off with our fucking stuff.
Did you leave it unattended?
I was exhausted. I thought
Oh, you
someone else would
did,
grab
yeah.
it, and
You
for once
didn't-
did.
You didn't take it from the gator that I told to follow you, did you?
Well, the moment it was wrapped up, the gator kind of sat on it like an egg, and I was a little...
Yeah, he would have followed you if you just asked him to.
Where was
Anyways, I have
it
a
at?
feeling that no matter where we had it, he would have come and nabbed it in the night.
I go and look at the spot where the gator was.
So you head into there, seeing the completely water outline of the gator letting let basically on the stone. Don't mind the blowing in the background. Yeah, listen. As you look over around it, Melvin kind of looks up at you as you walk in. Roland kind of gives a creepy, like attempted smile, and then kind of like looks back down at the floor as he looks about.
Okie dokie. I'll just like search the area that
Okay, give me a
the tag
search.
would have been in case it was invisible and James just didn't like kick the area to see if it was there or not.
Okay, give me a search check. If that's specifically the idea, search check, yeah.
Because it could have been just turned invisible as a prank.
When the magic's gone, the magic of it is fucking gone.
There's a spell that removes the magic of things.
I love that spell.
15.
Okay. As you attempt, kind of walking around, lightly like nudging your foot at the air, trying to find really any sort of thing to catch your attention, like should be there. Nudging your foot around, nothing seems to be there. Nothing kind of catches your attention as you look about. There's nothing off to the room, nothing that you nudge, nothing hidden. It seems to all be there.
That's certainly a shame, James. It was cursed as hell anyway, so I couldn't use it anyway.
It also worked as the proof of the kill.
That's true.
Luckily, we still have the banner, but
As James
Regardless,
sighs.
the troops are ready to go.
let's go collect the banner then and march our asses on over there. Syndra, what are we doing with the youngest? You asked me to leave him to you. What the fuck are we doing with him?
I said leave him to me if you didn't want to do anything with him, and I would do something with him.
Sindra kind of looking down the hallway towards where Drift's chambers are, and looking back down over at James.
Then I'll leave him to you. Do we want to load him up onto our ship then for you to terrify?
It depends on if you want to see him again.
James, give me a sense motive.
He's narrow at that sense motive?
Yeah, give me a sense motive, James. That sounds suspicious. Oh no, Roman's also got an idea. 18. Alright, and what are you trying to gather from the sense motive?
Roughly what exactly she's going to do to the boy?
What she's implying. Alright,
Yes.
Syndra. You can either give me a bluff check, or you can just, if you're willing to, you can just describe it outright of what you're implying with this.
Literally just that. That if I get my way, you will never see him again.
Can you elaborate in the sense of, do you plan to kill him, or is it some sort of magical thing you're planning to do?
You will. I am not planning on killing him.
Okay, so then I'll give James this. James, it feels like there is a nefariousness behind it, as if there's something that Cinder's got cooking up magically wise, something that probably has to do with her new power as you kind of contemplate based on what you've seen the last few days. From what you gather, it could be to feed her heart. You're not sure, given you really know much about how this new appearance
That's
works.
fine.
So
I want to put, just because I brought this up to the party before as an offer. I offered before to make a really powerful item vanish to never be seen again.
You did? Oh, you're gonna make a person go away the same way? That's terrifying.
I'm just saying. It's come up before.
Look, as long as we don't have to worry about it, I don't care at this point.
All right.
I'll say I will ask that you hold off for a day.
Sure. I won't do
We're leaving
anything.
today, aren't we?
Sure, you don't need him.
as
We're
Roman,
just-
leaving today.
you good?
Hmm?
I said, as Roman mentions about the whole leaving today thing, I was trying to highlight that as a specific here.
Yeesh.
I mean,
Well, yes, and given it's a day's march, it should only be a few hours flight at
Yep.
most.
I won't do anything until you tell me I'm allowed to.
Good. Okay.
I can explain more in depth of what I'm gonna do, but when I offered about the spiders thing, you said you didn't want to know.
I'm not supposed to know based on what you told
This
me of putting my ass in the fire.
and this is in a very similar vein.
Okay, not going to ask.
Melvin speaks up and goes, "Hey, James, I have a question.
Yes?
Does the whole, knowing about the hammer thing include the letters that were left behind?"
Yes.
"Oh, hey, James.
You have some letters, don't you, Melvin?
I know what happened to the hammer.
What happened?
I have a letter that was handed to me.
Was it by the thing that took the hammer?
Probably.
Were you not paying attention?
I did not see it, therefore I cannot say if he took the hammer or it took the hammer. What?
Very loyally.
Was it a red cat?
No, I can confirm it was not a red cat. Though I did see a mouse walking around the room, but I'm pretty sure it was yellow.
James, do you want me to read the letter?
Read the letter, Syndra.
Okay. I'll go grab the letter.
As Melvin kind of holds out this letter to you that's unsealed and looks to be a normal wax seal, no markings on it. And looks up and as he smiles and goes, "I hope this helps." As he looks back down at the ground.
I love our idiot. I love our 4 charisma idiot.
I love this little guy.
Syndra, as you look it over, give me a decipher script, please. Before you read this over, I imagine you'd be skimming it to make sure there's no secret messages or anything hidden in it that catch your attention.
Traps.
Yeah.
Nope. This is the regular.
Okay. As you look it up, and down, thankfully there isn't any sort of spell or spell effect on this item. It looks like it is literally a handwritten letter, written by someone's hand. As you see, a very simple black ink. Very whooshy form of what looks to be a draconic common written out. That reads, "James, I owe you. Heart, your favorite." And then it leaves it at that.
I'm going to strangle that cat.
Why? You left it unattended. He just took it.
It was in my space.
I didn't know you had a website.
Neither did I.
Explains a lot about James.
A web.
That's what James truly worships. No one realizes he's just trying to build the man internet.
I'm trying to make the internet. That way I can say, where'd you get your stuff? The internet.
Are there any miraculous levels that the IOU is binding and he actually owes James something?
It does. As you, for your own note, this is a binding contract with whoever took the hammer. This is a legitimate favor of sorts. What it's limited to and what you can ask for, good question. Who you can ask of, you're not sure, but, well, you have a pretty good idea. But without a name signed to it, you're unsure as you look it over.
Alright, James, I got good news.
Yes?
This is actually a binding IOU. You can ask for a favor.
Do you think I should use that favor to have the current agreement amended so we can't keep plotting my death?
Nah, go around that.
I don't know, because I don't know how much you're allowed to ask for.
You see Rollman in the background kind of nudge a lamp to testing it around it. Or not a lamp, but candelabra as he pushes around it, looking for the hammer.
Can I do a quick glance around? Do I see any spiders?
Give me a spot or, we'll call this a search check since you're looking specifically for spiders or spider marks.
Damn. Poor Syndra has to do a search check.
There's one on the letter.
Listen, if you said you were looking for anything suspicious, that's a spot check. If you have a specific thing, you're searching for it.
Only one I'm not good at.
As you look about looking for spiders, you see a couple cobwebs, but it doesn't look like there's any creatures sitting in them. No spiders about.
Well, we can just claim that it was also the hammer and cloak were stolen by Jakix late in the night.
Just saying, the spiders that I usually see are like castle-sized, so if I don't see them, I don't think they're there.
Correct. And as James says that out loud, Melvin looks up and goes, "Oh, James."
Yes?
I know where the cloak is.
Where is it?
The person who handed me the letter hung it up. It should be it's in one of the rooms. He said it would be in the room with the burning man.
I'm gonna walk to the drunkard's chamber.
As James just kind of annoyed starts walking out of the room, as Sindra and Roman kind of see him head out for a minute. A few moments later, you hear the sounds of the metal door hinge opening as James, as you look in and see hanging on the what looks to be a fancy coat hanger, is the cloak just sitting there.
I'm
And the
taking
burned
it. I'm
corpse.
walking out. Is there I have to ask this. Is there a boiling pile of just fat from him, as he was described, a very portly man?
There is nothing but ash and what looks to be a little bit of beard hair left of him.
Man, you really fucking immolated that man.
You had my hopes up. I was hoping you meant Pierre about the burning thing. I
No.
really was.
No, not the same guy. No, just
James
a fat
doesn't
dude.
know about that, so I couldn't.
Never mind then. I'll just not do that.
Okay.
As I grab the cloak and go back down, we have proof.
As James heads back in, as you all hear him come walking in with this, as he says this, holding it up, Melvin looks over and goes, "Did that help, James?"
Thank you, Melvin.
"Happy to help." And he looks back down at the ground.
Melvin, we're going to be leaving soon. You can go up onto the ship and if you'd like.
"Oh, okay." Kind of stands up, looks at you, and then starts walking past, just staring awkwardly at the three of you.
We need... I'm going to look at Syndra. We need to get him something to make him at least a little better at talking.
The hell do you want me to do?
I'm going to...
You realize to get him to normal person levels, I'd have to make a non-world leader item to make him more.
Cinder contemplates, explains this, looking at, realizing what Melvin actually is and why he has a lack of charisma.
Maybe we need to talk to his backer about this then. Although that wasn't the least enjoyable conversation I've had in the past 24 hours. So...
James, as you say this, kind of holding the cloak in your hand, the young officer comes around the door, or around into the long hall, and looks at you as Glimmerrock kind of stands at attention and goes, "Lord James, I am Sir Glimmerrock. I am the young officer that Sir Rolliman has, Commander Rolliman, does not matter, has recruited, and I'm the one who is taking command of the men. We are ready to move out, and the ships are arriving, Sir, Lord, his lordship.
Sir's fine. You can be a bit calmer about it.
Understood, sir. I would like to introduce myself. My family fought alongside the Frostbusters. My father actually fought alongside the Frost Furies in the last little spout between you and the Frosthammers. He looks over at Syndra and goes, "Give my sincerest apologies that your father was an incompetent asshole off the battlefield."
It's how it is.
Glimmerrock, do I recognize that name if they're that close?
Give me a knowledge history check. One of these days, I'll just make it call. I'll call it a knowledge recognition check.
Do I know you?
Because it's not history. You don't care about the history of the person. You just want to know if I know you or not. How do I know you? 20. As you think about it, you remember a older officer of the same name, who had a first name, though it kind of escapes you. He was given the name Glimmerrock because he was a Warrowan who specialized, not in ice magic, but while he was a capable ice mage, specialized in mostly fire magic, creating, basically igniting things and throwing them at people. He wasn't a terrible soldier. He was knighted at one point and even recognized for his valiantness in battle. you remember there were rumors of him having a son at some point, as well as a couple of other kids, as well as some point he got caught up with the Frost Fury's gambling debt, and everything kind of went to crap from there.
I'm sorry about your family's fall. Your father was a good Orowan, if my memory serves.
He nods. He goes, Dad was, not the most bright in the head. He always picked the wrong side when it came to battles. I've learned to follow in his footsteps, it seems. As he kind of gives a light chuckle and goes, but hey, maybe I made the right decision this time, hopefully.
James will give him a kind smile. I don't intend to fight too many more battles, at least not directly.
Well, I hope not, because every commander I've had seems to lose his head, and I'd really hope for that to be an ill omen for you, sir.
Oh, don't tell me that. I might have you see it among the other enemy forces then. Might be fun.
You know, the commander of Odger's forces, the General Magro, well, he threatened that a few times as a joke. Who knew it would come to be almost true during the siege of Strongport?
But
Oh, you were there.
No, I got lucky. I evaded the camp that came into my town and decided to recruit all young men. We didn't get much of a choice when they showed up to steal us, and I am ashamed to say this, but I kind of fell asleep drunk beneath one of the woolly boars, and, well, old Lucy fell on me, and thankfully the guards didn't see me. However, they did think that Lucy had borne a half-dwarf, half-child, or half-pig, rather. It was a interesting discussion around the rumors about town after that.
I see.
how out of character, how
Yeah.
competent does he seem?
Give me an
to
appraise check.
James?
Or I'll
Judging
take...
my decisions.
Give me an appraise or a profession merchant. I'll take either.
Let me see this for a person. So I will give profession merchant since that is actually a better bonus.
Not the fun kind of craps, exactly. 21. He seems quite capable, surprisingly, for his young age. His charisma seems to be surprisingly higher than, or if not equal to Syndra's. He seems to have a knack for leadership almost immediately, and guesstimating by his capability, he'd probably be equivalent to a guard captain if he, when it came to personal, like, leadership abilities. I mean, this, all in all, this seems like the perfect kind of knight you could ask for. Almost a young Rollerman, if you will.
All right. If everyone's split up between the ships properly, we'll head out then.
He nods and goes, I'll have them split up. Do you have a preference, or am I good to assign favorites? Or is it, do you prefer the men to serve amongst different crew members so they get used to shifting crews? Different morale bonuses and all can affect that, but I figured I'd give you the final say in case you have something, as he looks to you.
Out of character, would it make a difference at this?
You have a mercenary commander who literally is your right hand that's standing right next to you to ask.
I'm going to look to Rollerman. You usually make these decisions when it comes to this. I do the hiring, you do the splitting up.
It depends if you want them to move around and they be all rounders or be specialized. Whether it's,
Well, I usually...
SMG.
Each ship seems to be specialized in what they would usually want, so I'd go based off that. They aren't going to be shifting crews too often.
All right. Make it specialized for each ship in their main, and I'll give the spiel of which each ship does.
You see as he kind of takes mental notes as you guys explain everything, as you look at him, and he kind of nods and goes, he basically reads back with like a short note list of off the top of his head, basically what you just said, and goes, almost like a crunk walking into the kitchen. It's amazing, Rollman. You are shocked at how capable this young man is when it comes to military language. He seems to catch on to what you're saying and kind of immediately as he explains it back to you and goes, and with that, I'll have all these men split up. I'll get you a roster and a list of all their personal interests, curiosities, and plans. Should let us better make sure the men are motivated on those ships. And it'll let us weed out for any potential disloyalty ahead of time in case we need to watch for any poor decision making.
Oh, we probably should.
Also,
I seem to have a tendency to draw that.
I've introduced myself to Pierre and the tall mute troll fella, as well as the commanders. They all seem to be quite capable individuals, but seem to be a little rusty. So I've organized for the most capable warriors amongst the crew to partner up with them and teach them, similar to as it seems your Commander Rolliman is to you, Sir James.
I'll nod.
Yeah.
As I realize I'm just gonna take that because I would spar with Rollman if I wasn't running an entire business.
James, from this, you get the sense he's not implying sparring. He's implying your ability at war, like your tactical capabilities, not your warrior capabilities.
You know what? That tracks still.
Yeah, that's more of what he's saying, is that your crew doesn't have experience in war, so he's putting veterans who know war as their advisors. As
That would be great. Thank you.
kind of nods and smiles and goes, I'll be on your ship, Sir James, but I will be organizing the other men. We've managed to acquisition from one of the burned down villages nearby a few items that will keep in handy. They're fully able to be intercepted by a capable Warrowan, but I believe as he holds a collection of about 7 different what look to be earrings of sending out, and he goes, these are long distance at the trade-off of, unfortunately, anybody who knows of their existence and has magic up to a certain level can invest to just break it, basically scry on it. It's
James will nod. Have them also keep a either. How much sand or ash would they need, Syndra?
Let me check if the spell has an amount or if it just says sand.
Pocket sand. Everyone gets pocket sand.
As you look that up, Glimmerrock looks over at James for a second and goes, is Syndra an ash hag by chance?
No, but they are a Warrowan based off the Druidics.
That explains the foreign appearance.
It's a pound they have to carry.
Have them carry a pound of ash or sand with them, and then introduce them to Syndra before we leave. That way, should we need to reach them more covertly, we can.
I'll make sure each of them carry it amongst the liner of their jackets so it can't be taken off of them. Understood. With that, I'll have to commandeer your hammer and forge for a day, and I should be able to get the uniforms out for the men. But I can have that done by the time we reach Runeshold if we're all heading there as a whole crew, or...
That is the plan, and then we'll release the other 2 ships.
He nods and goes, perfect. And then he kind of like ushers to the doorway and goes, after you lot, I think we should be able to be packed up by now.
Nod, and I am going to sense motive him for loyalty purposes.
Feel free.
Hey, fair enough to be cautious, I guess.
Nat 20 for 28.
Silent message. I believe what you're getting right now.
Sorry, I heard a knocking. I thought it was at my door. So, alright, James, as you sense motive for his loyalty, he seems to be fully friendly. He doesn't seem to be disloyal from what you can tell. From all that it gives, his interest seems to be fully more motivated for his own gain. You get the sense since he's young, he's probably betting that since you just took out 2 clans, you're going to be looking for someone to replace someone at some point, and he could rise really fucking high if he sticks around. So, you get a sense this is a strong loyalty out of the sense of personal gain. You're his
The moment
his
someone else
millionaire.
can offer him more, I have to.
No.
I will need to watch my back.
You don't get that sense from him, I will say that. You get this. He seems to be ride or die, but he's 100% in this for the power you're going to give him. He seems to see something in you more than you see on yourself.
Well, you know what? Maybe he gets to become a manager someday and own a shop. Who knows?
But as the 3 of you head towards the Iron Journey, getting aboard immediately as you lot do, Sir Glimmerrock with you, The four of you being pulled up and aboard as the ships gather around. The Sir Glimmerrock kind of stepping to the helm or to stepping to the front of the ship, shouting out orders to the rest of the men as he starts explaining the plan. And the ships begin to kind of rise and follow after the Iron Journey as you lot head for Rune's Hold.
We have our ship.
Yep, it's going to be
Our ship.
So for reference, as you see the gliding, it's the Iron Journey yourself, the Heart of the Sea, the Iron Warden, and Narn Law, and Stan Standerson's crew. So that is a total of 5 ships. Roughly
at
with
least
about
this will look nice.
yeah, you roughly
Not
have about
combat ships, though.
600 men split between all 5. So. And they are
Great.
not combat ships, as Roland points out, to be very poignant for those at home. The only
we
one that
only
has
have
a
2.
combat capability truly is the Iron Journey that James is on, because
Well,
it is
no,
outfitted
no.
for a war.
Nar's ship is also outfitted for war.
That's true, because he's got I believe he has a man of war. I'll have to double check my notes.
It is a fully set up warship, is what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
And then Iron Warden is half set up for war.
Was half set up, man. Spent over 1 million gold pieces on
I said Iron
outfitting
Warden,
it.
not Iron Journey.
Okay, I was gonna say. But as the ships begin to kind of follow
I
together,
drink the worth of a small country on my ship, thank you.
Rolaman, give me a use magic device check, please, as I assume you'll be at the helm.
Yeah.
As I'm going, while we're traveling, I will go talk to Unga Chunga
Okay.
and thank her for piloting the ship and give her the idea to start crafting the contracts if possible.
If you want to lay out what those contracts are in our PMs later, I'd appreciate that.
I will. I will
Perfect.
make a note of it.
Thank you. Rolaman with a 13 in use magic device. I mean, it's almost become second nature for this ship. It's not a bumpy road. It's not a fast one. But damn if you don't make sure that this ship goes smooth without any issues, even if it takes you a little extra time. As the lot of you start heading out, it'll take you about 4.5 hours roughly to get down to the town and find a landing or an area to land your airships. As you lot arrive inside the city, landing in the the castle's central quarters, where a large landing strip has kind of been set all outside, as well as seconds as a training yard for the men during the hotter months. As your airships come landing into it, yours and James, who else? If you could pick one other of the group of the crews that are here with you, who you picking? Because there's only enough space for one more. As you're landing, it looks like the troops are not responding from the castle walls. Seems to be no aggressive movement. Though you can see on the walls, the castles seem to have catapults and scorpions stand. Okay. All right.
Stands reasonable
Yes,
because
Roland.
if this is going to be diplomatic, I can use that assistance.
True. Yes, Roland, what's up?
Was there any signs of combat, like any signs of a siege?
Along the as you guys head towards the city, give me, let's call it a spot check. 10. While the forests are cut quite far back, from the walls themselves, you didn't see any signs of an army anywhere near. The troops on the wall seem very limited, and not focused anywhere. It seems like nothing's happened. The city itself quiet, and overall, other than the sounds of the hammering of the smiths and the shouting of merchants in the streets, honestly, it would be hard to tell the city ever saw any combat. But does not look like there's any signs of siege, as James gives the heads up to Sir Glimmerrock to flag for the other ships for the Stan Sanderson's ship to follow. You lot begin to descend with Stan Sanderson's ship, while Narlaw, the Iron Warden, and the Heart of the Sea head towards the outer edge of the city and land outside the city gates. As you lot come to a landing, the kind of plank being dropped out so that you can walk down it. You see as troops begin to come out of the castle gates itself into the yard, many knights in the strong helm banner. And as you look at the center of them, there stands a 5'10", average looking snowbeard and heavy glimmering iron plate that has seen too many battlefields. Recognizing this almost immediately as Magriel himself, as he stands there, his blazed tail griffin only about 10 feet behind him and slightly blocked from the shadow of the doorway as he looks up at you lot. Smiles a big smile as he pushes up his helm. What looks to be a golden dragon, lion's mask, seemingly kind of designed into his helmet as he pulls it up and looks at you, James, and goes, "You must be the lot who beat Odger. And I guess that means we must talk terms on your surrender." And that is where we're going to cut to black for today's session. We thank you all for watching. We hope you enjoyed, and we will see you next time on Dragon Ball Z, because it bothers Cameron to no end.